Yeah, stay side. Aight, whether you ready or not. Nothing less but a no did test. Is a test that you will be exposed. Game tight solid, rock to the top. Game tight solid, rise to the top. Be the moment every second that you find on the clock. Champion on a mission and no stop. I can see through your eyes like a window. Nothing inside, no heart when it gets cold. Try to take mine, that's bad from the get-go. When I put it on you, have you wishing that you stand home. Think about the outcome, think about your health, bro. Think about your family, think about your ego. You wanna be the boss when it ain't that I'ma keep it real with you. 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 I'ma keep it real with you.
WWE Super Slam starts tonight at 7 p.m., but Brawlhalla's Super Summer Slayem starts right now with top 8, all best of 5s. I'm Duke. Today with me is the one and only Scriv. How are you doing, Scriv?
I'm good. I'm really excited to get into this. I think we've got, a lot of the top brass coming into it, and I think it's going to be really exciting evening of, I suppose afternoon for the NA boys of Brawlhalla.
Yeah, it's afternoon, at least for like the East Coast side of things. I think the West Coast is still pre-noon. But either way, yeah, we've got some big names here out for Super Summer Slam. How about we go down this list? First up, we've got Sandstorm and Noel fighting in the upper side of the bracket. What do you think of these guys?
I think it could be quite an interesting one, like kind of, head-to-head wise, always been a little bit of rivalry there. Sandstorm, though, has proven, time after time after time, he can just sort of do his own thing. And it seems to work out for him, especially again in the realms of like the online play where maybe it's a little bit more relaxed. There's not quite as much pressure as the LAN environment. I think Sandstorm really excels when he's just kind of playing like he doesn't have a care in the world,
I think that tends to be his general mentality when he's playing. Also in the upper side of things, we've got Bumi versus Ethan. What do you think of these two guys?
I think a little bit more of a difficult one to call. Bumi's still been looking really good. 2v2's excelling. I think the 1v1s maybe he's started to show some chinks in the armor, so to speak. So there's maybe room for Ethan to kind of get in there and not like an upset, but maybe take it, because everything today's a best of 5, right? So I think we might see some closer ones. We might see some more dominant stuff.
Well, I wanted to go down the rest of the list, but these players are really itching to go. It's going to be Costelix versus Simba in the losers side of things. The loser of this best of 5 will, in fact, be knocked out, earning that top 7, or 7th place finish. But still, definitely a strong showing from both of these guys.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of expect them to get this far. I just can't get past. I've not seen the John Cena skin in game yet. I got the Rock one personally. I feel like on the splash side of things, his head's a bit big, not gonna lie. But either way, getting into small Brawlhaven here, gonna be a brawl. Costelix especially loves this map, especially with that lance. As
started
we
it off
see,
like
just
that.
opening up.
That's
I don't know, man.
Stock
That's
of the
a
game.
really dominant start.
Yo, but I like the mentality coming out from Simba. Gonna shrug that one off and just be like, all right, we'll go to the next one. It's fine.
Yeah, looking pretty good here on the Hattori, by the way, if maybe, you're not quite up to scratch that John Cena. With the ladder, looks brilliant. But that spear into the lance can be a little bit more difficult. I think the lance likes to stay grounded, as does the spear. And yeah, we're just seeing a bit of a masterclass at the moment from Costelix as he is dishing out the damage, not taking very much himself. Ooh. A little bit of a chance to come in, though. Simba with a nice little mix-up on the GC downlight. Unfortunately, not going to be enough, though, because he loses that second stock pretty quickly alongside the first. So it's looking really good for Costelix here.
I definitely really liked that gravity cancel downlight. That's not the general follow-up. Usually you go straight for that downlight, but it's not true. He knew that Costelix was going to jump out. But again, the Lance plays offstage. Costelix's Lance stage has seriously just leveled up as time has progressed.
Yeah, for sure. He has just continued to get better and better, honestly. And the Scarlet's so good for him. Unfortunately, going to lose no 3 stock coming in. But yeah, the Scarlet's really good. Like the kit that she has with the signatures, I think it combos really well. And the stats as well really suit Costelix's aggressive style in your face. And obviously you get a lot of reward for that on Scarlet with the super high damage. Didn't quite catch, I think he's got a point in speed, which does take it out of the damage, but all the same, looking really good here. We'll see Simba maybe fight back, maybe get a bit more confidence coming in. Unfortunately, though, it is a fairly dominant opening game from Costelix.
That's all right, though, but again, these are best of 5s. I think we're going right on into the next one. I was going to say for a moment that Simba had the opportunity to change up his characters. I know he does have the Val pick, which generally does worse in this matchup, but still it might have been something a little bit more comfortable for Simba, but it looks like John Cena is that comfort pick for him for at least this game against Costelix.
Yeah, he is going to shrink things down to some slightly bigger maps. We do end up on Enigma, so that's kind of interesting to consider. When Costelix has a bit more of the power, we end up on the small Brawlhaven. Simba, meanwhile, a lot more platforms, a lot more room to him for him to maybe, you know, reset things back to the neutral, play a bit more passive. So it will be interesting to see. I think the sword especially really does like that sort of in and out kind of style, reset back to the neutral, wait for a mistake, and the lance is kind of the opposite, right? So we'll see how small Enigma does here for Simba, whether it makes a massive difference or not.
Oh, nice read from Simba.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, but fighting back from Kostelix with these side airs. Again, goes for the gravity cancel neutral signature. And we're not seeing Kostelix try to push that advantage. With those gravity cancel neutral signatures, you have to burn that spot dodge. So Simba putting himself in a risky position, but Kostelix not capitalizing off of it.
Yeah, this one a hell of a lot closer so far. Again, though, that damage of Scarlet, you've got to watch out. It can be a little bit dangerous, but nice bit of movement from Simba, of course, coming in with the Haymaker, trying to get the down air, not quite going to land it. A little bit of a clash coming in, and it kind of screws Kostelix as well. He's not able to fully chase dodge and get back on safely because of that clash. So yeah, I think Simba maybe took him a bit of time to warm up here. Will very quickly get taken out by, of course, that bread and butter combo of the lance, the side light into the side air, but all the same, not looking as dominant, right? Oh, I say that. But like for just a second, maybe Kostelix finds an opening.
There's a nice spot dodge. Side light down air. Goes for the read with that neutral signature. Simba needs to find a way back into this one, fighting back. There's a nice down light into the side air. But again, not getting these huge swings of momentum. He's just getting taps here and there, whereas Kostelix gets the bigger taps with this lance, with this high-strength Scarlet.
Yeah, I think that is definitely the difference. Not quite able to take him out with the recovery, and again, just able to stick on the lance. Bit of weapon control for a wee bit, and will eventually take him out again with that beautiful movement that Kostelix is kind of known for. Controller, definitely a different style of movement, I think. See a lot of players just... It seems like a little more fluid, but sort of maybe a bit more predictable. Not really sure, but all the same, Kostelix does it really well, and it kind of results in a nice opener. Nice second stock taken away from Simba, who now is trying to return the favor. Does get a little bit low there. Needs to be careful. Again, off stage, Kostelix has got the power to just track you down and take you out in a matter of seconds.
All right, Simba misses the weapon toss. Can he stuff this? No, doesn't punish the recovery. And then that means Kostelix is going to extend this stock. That time will stop out the recovery. And yes, finally, Simba does get the stock, but he's just a little bit behind Kostelix right now.
Yeah, maybe showing a little bit of nerves not to follow up that first time. Or maybe just, you know, wanting to make sure it's 100% confirmed. We'll see, though. Kostelix on the hammer, not quite as clean for him, but still obviously going to be very, very confident with it. In and out, again, that movement, just trying to bait it out. Simba, though, doing a great job of, again, just the downlights into whatever it leads into, you know, whether it's a side air, a recovery, a down air, or even a neutral air in some cases we've seen him go for. So really trying to mix things up here and just stay safe, ultimately.
We are seeing kind of the pitfall of Kostelix. Kostelix is known for his lance play, though. And now that he's on his hammer, looking a little bit more awkward. This hammer got a recent buff with the downlight, so he does have a little bit more stun, can do more follow-ups, but he's throwing it away. Doesn't even want it. Waiting for that lance spawn.
This has been brought way closer, and my goodness, Simba will actually find it in the end. I was going to say way closer than it felt like it should have been, but Simba with the recovery ends the game, but also, you know, the recovery within the game is able to pull things back, so looking really good. But again, Kostelix, he's got his game plan fully set out, especially now with Apocalypse coming in. He's like, I want the small kind of, you know, no platforms if I can, very, very brawl heavy maps where he can just push his opponent off the map and keep them at arm's length, so to speak, with that lance.
Yeah, less platforms is always better for Kostelix. He likes to control that main stage area, and you're already seeing him pick up the spawn weapon, go for the control play, get a nice three hit to start it off.
And really trapping Simba off here as well. He will eventually make his way back up, but it costs him a hell of a lot of HP there. Trying to deny weapons away. Unfortunately, it had been so long, there was already 2 spawns. Simba had the run-of-the-mill, so to speak. Is fighting back here a little bit, but again, that damage just in favor of Kostelix. Really good stuff coming in. Not quite able to land the weapon toss, but The damage definitely getting there. The neutral not going to land. So good at edge guarding that neutral for sure on the spear. Going to be hard not to call it the ladder across the course of this series, but all the same. And now this is where, you know, Simba's like, right, cool. I've forced him onto the hammer. This is my opportunity to get back into things and maybe even take the first stock.
I'm surprised. I was waiting for that side signature. I was like, Koslix has been waiting for the positioning for it, and the second he goes for it, Simba does punish it. So maybe that's why Koslix was trying to not go for that side signature too early.
Yeah, definitely looking good here for Simba, but again, I mean, he gets a small advantage, and I think the thing that we've seen from him across the course of the series, he's not really able to extend the stocks as well as Koslix seems to be doing. And that's kind of making the difference. When, you know, Simba has a bit of a lead, Koslix immediately seems to pull it back in his favor.
But now we're seeing some more momentum coming out from Simba, able to catch with that neutral light. Neutral light comes out incredibly fast for both sword and spear, so it's a nice kind of protect move, and Simba using it to punish Koslix landing on him. Uh-oh. Read the dodge. That neutral signature. Nice damage coming out from Koslix. 2 recoveries?
I don't know, man. He must have just hit the red, you know, when we kind of caught that neutral sig combo. Eventually follows up, takes him out. And like I say, because he's not able to extend that stock, because it becomes pretty even, it will be Koslix with a very brief lead, but seems they're both kind of suffering from the, you know, getting a little bit complacent. They get a stock lead, try and take a breather, but again, Koslix forcing it onto these smaller maps. There is no time to breathe. You know, there is no time to move away. Just because of the nature of the size and the play style that Koslix particularly is trying to go for here.
Yeah, Koslix, he can kind of control the pacing himself, but we are seeing Simba from underneath. Some great vertical play. That's how you have to play against lanes. Play that vertical game, which is partly why Simba's playing this spear. He has that downlight, which is so great at punishing any area approach from Koslix.
Yeah, for sure, and as you can see, just seems to be getting a bit of a better read on it. This little GC downlight. Nice. Oh, the breakdance in the end as well. A little bit of BM to finish it off, but it was a fairly good choice. It catches Koslix completely off guard. It will be Simba taking the lead in the set, 2-1 then, after Koslix opening up, looking super dominant. Not quite able to keep it up, it seems.
Yeah, Koslix, he had a fantastic game 1. Then we saw Simba kind of barely managed to finish out game 2, and now it just seems like Simba's just in complete control, knows exactly how he wants to play this set and this matchup. Maybe they had a little bit of warm-up time. That's what happened, is he came in cold to today, and then he's like, oh yeah, now I need to warm up. Now that we got this best of 5, we got plenty of time to make sure my fingers are working good against Koslix.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way, right? And I think the download for sure, it seems Simba, mind game wise, is really doing well. 3 sidelights in a row. Hits 2 out of 3, so not half bad. That's a good catch, but not quite able to take him out. I think it's going to be enough in the end.
Nice.
Surely, Koslix, great stuff. I have to, you know, comment. I think he's one of the better players at doing those sort of backdash, you know, sigs, especially with the hammer. You can get them so cleanly, so often, and really works out there. Not just a fancy bit of footwork. It's actually a really nice play to open up, and he's got a fair HP lead here as well as the stock lead.
Yeah, and it looked like Simba was starting off pretty strong on that initial stock, but Koslix with some fantastic hammer play. Now we're seeing Simba start to come alive with that spear play. Got the double downlight as well on top of Koslix, so that's some big damage, but needs to finish the stock.
Trying to look for the opening here, but Koslix is just so hard to pin down at the moment, so hard to hit. Really in his element with this lance. Simba trying to wait patiently, but not able to land the recovery in the end, and Koslix just looks almost untouchable. Eventually the ground pound will take him out to the side, drop his weapon, but he's straight back onto the lance, and Simba tosses his away. Might end up costing him, but we'll see. Oh, nice little weapon toss coming through, not going to be enough. Simba able to get back up in the breakdance once again. The area denial. I don't know, man.
Like, he's celebrating when he had the weapon spawns on the field.
Yeah.
Could have been denying, but he does still end up denying Koslix, so ends up working out.
Kind of a bit messy from Simba, to be fair. And again, HP
nice
for Koslix. Not quite able to get the Gimp, but pulling it back for sure, and it seems unarmed really working out for him right now.
Yeah, just staying on top of Kostelix. Kostelix, he does have the stomp, he does have the neutral line if Simba plays that stacked game, but nice side signature and Kostelix gets disarmed. Simba trying to play in the weapon starve game. That's risky.
So very close. Kostelix burning his dodge as well is really going to give the control back to Simba. The
he didn't touch.
Should be enough. Yeah, he doesn't have any resources left, so Simba once again regaining the lead here. It just seems, you know, Kostelix starts off really strong. And as per usual, he seems to be his own worst enemy. It definitely is a bit of a mental thing, I think, for Kostelix at the moment against Simba. Oh my goodness, he's really picked it up coming into what could be the final stock here.
Yeah, Simba just trying to play this aggressive game. He has this high-speed character, John Cena, on that Hattori, obviously very high speed, means that he can kind of stick to the opponent if possible, but Kostelix able to clean up that stock. Down to the final stocks here.
Yeah, the one stock shootout, and I mean, Kostelix to keep his tournament life alive. We see Simba with that nice little bit of tech, the GC, to catch you when you are dodging. Spicing things up, like you say, that general path that people go on the spear is definitely not true. Kostelix trying to get back, trying to play it safe, is so damaged though. Simba misses the GC downlight. That could give the opening to Kostelix that he needs. However, Kostelix is so bouncy, it gives a lot of options across to the sword. Not quite able to take him out with a neutral sig. Oh! Simba ends it, of course. John Cena can't catch him, can't see him, and I don't know, man. Kostelix started off so well in not only the set, but also within that game. Just not able to keep it up the whole way through.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to the spear play of Simba. If you go back across that entire set and watch all the different follow-ups off the sidelight, then you start to realize how Simba was kind of conditioning Kostelix to react, right? He starts off with those sidelight gravity cancel downlights, did that a couple times. Then you started seeing him go for like sidelight into sidelight, and it's like, all right, now Simba knows exactly how Kostelix is going to react out of this. He's just playing with his food at that point. That means he is going to continue on, but we are also going to continue on in the lower bracket with Pugsy versus Kui. Two Canadian boys going to be fighting it out here.
Yeah, indeed, and Kui seems to be sat on the Petra, which will certainly be interesting. Someone that we've seen, again, float in a little bit. I casted the Brazilian sort of Summer Championships like last weekend. And there was a couple people playing Petra. It seemed like it was catching off a lot of the Brazilian players because they're still not 100% solid on the hitboxes and things of her signatures. So it'll certainly be interesting here. I think, you know, you could definitely get punished if you've not done your homework, if you've not put the levels in. Speaking of levels, though, we've got level 12 on Petra, level 29 on Brawlhalla. So I don't think either of these guys are super comfortable on what they've picked here. So it certainly will be interesting to see whether they stay on these legends.
Yeah, neither of them are like really known for either of these picks. Like you were saying, Kui's on Petra, kind of the newest character, but generally I see Kui on that Lucian pick. On the other side, Pugsy lately was on the Lin Fei, but I guess due to recent balance changes or just kind of change in mood, Pugsy's decided to swap over to the Brawlhalla pick.
Yeah, again, a little bit more. I mean, they're very similar, actually. Very glass cannon. You know, big damage, big dex, especially for Pugsy here on the Brawlhalla. So we'll see how it ends up working out. I think we could end up seeing a little bit more of a scrappy set as it goes on. You know, a lot more fighting and starting on the Mammoth Fortress, always kind of the case. A nice middle ground. Everybody loves a bit of Mammoth Fortress. Hui, though, seems to be just edging out here again. Brawlhalla, I didn't quite catch, I would imagine, the point in defense. Oh, nice little spin around reversal on the recovery there to take him out.
Yeah, but like you were saying, in just terms of raw stats, Kui is going to have that advantage. Petra, very high strength character, going up against a very low base defense character on Pugsy. That means that trades are going to be in Kui's favor, but Pugsy has that potential to get some big momentum, get some big damage on the Kui. Uh-oh.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the gauntlets.
Yeah,
the gauntlets off stage when you see that ground pound come in. There's a little bit of graying in there. You know, the boys running out of jumps. A lot of GCs here. Nothing really landing at the moment, though. Both guys really looking for the openings. The down sig going to do it, though, from Pugsy to find his first stock. Not a massive extension, although you would say, but again, it's that low defense that's really making the difference. Again, that orb similar to the sword in the sense that you can sort of in and out pretty quick. Side light, side air is absolutely deadly. It's like 36 damage, something like that. Pretty crazy stuff, and I think Kahui recognizes this pick especially is really good for him to play against. The Brawlhalla is not safe and not finding the openings that she needs on either of her weapons right now. The axe is getting it, a lot of damage coming in actually, and that's that momentum shift that you're talking about. The side air will be all that is required from the swords. As Kahui felt like he was in the lead, and then all of a sudden 3 or 4 attacks, it turns around.
I am loving what I'm seeing from Pugsy's axe play. It's not the traditional side light and air, go for a read after it. It's kind of this different thing. We're seeing a lot of dare resets and then these like 1 or 2 hits, but just staying right in position. Holy snap, that down air. That actually got the grounded down air, catching the teleport of Kahui. Pugsy, I'm loving his axe right now.
Yeah, I think he is as well. Started off on the sword early on in this game, wasn't really feeling it, swapped across to the axe, and is now definitely dictating the pace here, trying to get those reads in. Unfortunately, nothing quite clean. Down air into the side air, though, I'm liking it. It is a little bit unorthodox, but I think, you know, it's messing with Kahui's head for sure, and the reversal side air to finish it. A beautiful recovery there after Kahui opened up looking super strong, but you can see that Brawlhalla damage. Didn't look like it, but she did 600 damage across the course of that game, so really turning it around quickly.
Yeah, I mean, those axe hits, they chunk, they hit hard. And we're going right back to the same map for game number 2. Pugsy definitely recognized that axe was kind of the pick that worked the best against Kahui. And I'm curious what Kui is going to do for the adjust. I think having a little bit more of an orb-centric play style might work out in his favor. But we'll have to see what he decides works out for him.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, those gauntlets have the power to 100 to OU for sure if you don't respect them. So it does seem to be starting off on them, and yeah, trying to get those nairs in, of course, the momentum nairs that can just pull you along so very far, really throw you for a loop. Oh my goodness, though.
I almost got him. If he had hit a little bit lower. Pugsy, just the quick few hits from his axe play, the sword side signature, and Pugsy just steals the lead. Kahui had so much going with those gauntlets, but Pugsy, the second he picks up a weapon, deletes a stock.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. And I think something that he's got going for him here is playing a lot of the just light game, not many SIGs coming in. So it's sort of that mind game where you'd expect him to maybe open with a side light or jump in, try and dare. He just throws a SIG out and you're not expecting it. And we saw that towards the end there, and I think he might try pull that out a few more times as well. The spike down towards the side, though, is that going to be enough to dare? Thankfully, the platform is around, but the second one not going to be safe this time around.
I like the
positioning. A nice little recovery.
That was great. Generally, if he was a little more left on that soft platform, would have bounced off the platform, but Kahui very intelligently went just enough to the right that the orb flew past and caught Pugsy in the face.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, scary position on this edge guard.
It's looking like Kahui's sort of turning it around a little bit here.
Oh, nice down airs. These down airs have so much more range that Pugsy now has to kind of respect how far away Kahui can play back with these orb down airs. Oh, fireball to the face. Kahui gets the stock, takes the lead, but he doesn't want to keep the orb. Instead, switches over to the gauntlets, maybe because Pugsy's unarmed. Gauntlets have that advantage, but the second Pugsy picks up a weapon, you see exactly this. Pugsy trying to get that stock.
Oh, narrowly missing out here. Some really good dodges coming in from both players. To be honest, the side air eventually finds it, though, and evening things up pretty quickly. So again, into final stock for both players. Not a great deal of damage taken from Pugsy, so definitely could go either way. Oh, really nice stuff coming in. That round pound, of course, is a little safer, a little bit faster as well because of the recent changes, so really making use of that, mixing it up. Once again, this axe looking really, really good from Pugsy, but playing things stacked does make it a little bit more difficult for the axe. That's what Kahui's trying to do, trying to stay inside of Pugsy right now, and there, the neutrals to open up. It's got those hitboxes behind as well, really can throw you for a loop. Seems to be fighting back pretty well here. Again, high damage on the Petra as well. We've been talking about it for Pugsy, but mainly because he's been sticking on the axe, so it's sort of a lot beefier. But Kahui still has the power to pull things back in his favor.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of dare approaches coming out from Pugsy, and Kui's starting to recognize it, start getting some decent punishes, but a little bit late. That side air finishes it off. But we're seeing some life in Kui. Maybe game 3 is where it all comes together, comes into fruition, and you can take a game off of Pugsy.
Well, we're going to the Mammoth Fortress once again. So 3 times in a row here. It's looked pretty comfortable for Pugsy, but yeah, like you say, it's kind of a tough one, right? Because it's still so very close. Kui feels like what he's doing is right, but not quite perfect. And there is definitely a chance he could get the run back here. Going to start off with the weapon as well, but not quite able to deny anything away from Pugsy. So onto that comfortable axe once again.
And Pugsy, go for these B-hops. There's a side light. Nair does not get the ground pound read. Dodges up through that ground pound from Kui, but doesn't have the dodge. Eats the weapon toss, and Pugsy's gonna fall the edge guard from Kui. The gauntlets, it's a little too strong. So scary on the off stage.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit difficult to deal with, and might just be the advantage that Kui needs. He denies a weapon away here, looking pretty good on the orb as well. Again, spicing things up, just edge guarding so very well. Quite a bit of damage done here. Again, weapon denial coming in across the gauntlets. Looks comfortable on both weapons. That's certainly something Pugsy, similar to what we've just seen from Kosalix. The sword not as clean from him, not as comfortable. I think he's, as you can see, not looking to engage. Just trying to wait patiently a little bit. Wouldn't be surprised if he throws this away. But a great catch coming in from Kui. Not going to matter.
Again.
Super dominant game.
He is hitting these max range side signatures. First one was a fireball on the orb. This time it was the pummel coming out from the gauntlets. But he's hitting these max range side signatures as Pugsy reaches for the soft platform.
Oh. Quite going to kill though. It's a nice find with the down sig, but Kui staying alive. Got more opportunity to do more and more damage. Gets caught off by the recovery though. So Pugsy at the very least not going to get 3 stock. The question now becomes, can he pull things back here? I think definitely easier said than done, but on the axe, comfortable on it, and he's playing it well at the moment, not to take that much damage himself. He's just very in and out with the dares, as he has been a lot of the time, but like I say, there's not as much follow-up it seems at the moment, because he's just looking to get that damage.
Nice chase coming out from Kui, just not enough range to catch Pugsy. Pugsy jumping above it. Gets him with the neutral light. Pugsy's coming back into this one. Can't finish the stock. Oh, the turnaround. Ground pound.
Oh.
And that is it. Kui takes game number 3. He's going to hold on.
Yeah, kind of had to take a risk towards the end there, I think, Pugsy, to take that second stock off Kui. Unfortunately, it backfires. Once again, though, folks, small Mammoth Fortress. It seems to be fairly comfortable for both. Kind of affirms the fact with Kui winning that one. He's like, yeah, well, it's not the map choice.
It's all about the play. And we're going right on into game number 4. Kui going to try to fight for that spawn weapon. If it was the gauntlets, he would have been feeling comfortable. But Pugsy, he's going to do that weapon denial as he swaps over to the axe.
Yeah, we'll see. It was kind of a bit tougher for him in the previous game, yeah, and Kui, once again, it seems like he has a little bit more stage control coming in here. Nobody hitting each other at the moment, though, and again, Kui, that's pretty clean, though, to be fair. Yep. Comes in with the ground pound, but Kui finds the opening as maybe Pugsy gets a bit greedy to find the damage.
Yeah, Pugsy is really looking for this down air into ground pound. He's been hitting a couple times, some kind of fishing for it in the first couple stocks, but he's really starting to get those connections and getting great damage onto Kui. Ooh, teleport. Pugsy not able to punish the teleport, but didn't take any damage for it. He's really respecting the range.
Yeah, it's such a slower third game. I think now, fourth game rather. I think now that Kui has realized that he has a chance here, that's pretty clean as well. Once again, those Petra signatures, man, they're deadly, absolutely deadly. But yeah, it has really slowed down here into game number 4. I think a lot more pressure on both these players where Pugsy realizes he can be beaten. Nice. He feels like he's got a chance. That is super clean stuff, though. Pugsy really going to have a solid lead here, not taking any damage on his second stock. So Kui's the one that's got to try and recover it. And again, his tournament life is on the line here, so really all to play for.
And Kui needed that Gimp right there, but Pugsy fights his way back onto the stage. Again, Kui's going to try to get him off stage, try to get that punish, because he needs to get this stock quick. He's a full stock behind. All trades are in Pugsy's favor right now.
Yeah, definitely seems to be that way. Ooh, a little bit greedy off the edge. Gets nared down. The ground pound, yeah, is not quite able to land off stage. It was just sort of on the corner of that top end, so Pugsy going to be fairly safe. And yeah, Kui is playing very, very risky here, kind of because he has to, again, like you say, to get that Gimp with the gauntlets. And it's difficult. It's difficult to keep it up, and he opts to move away from it. He's taking so much damage in the process. It's going to be really difficult for him to get back in here, especially now he's without a weapon. It looks like Pugsy should feasibly be able to clean this one up. We'll see. Yeah, the side light, side air, not going to kill. Like, Pugsy's not very deep into the red at all. So he's really, really safe here on his second stock. I think they're about the same HP as Kui. Doesn't get taken down by the ground pound, but obviously that stock making the difference. Super deep from Kui, and he bumps his head as well. That's
he just wanted that stock at that point. That was just him
really
going, I just got to get some stock. But unfortunately, does not hit the ground pound. And that means Pugsy is going to close it out 3-1 over Kui to earn his spot in the loser's quarterfinal. That likely means we're going to be going up into the winner's bracket, as Pugsy doesn't have an opponent, and neither does Simba. But, you know, that's how brackets work. Congratulations. You got learnt, chat.
Educational.
Yeah, we like to teach and show off some Brawlhalla whenever possible. Coming up next, likely will be the Sandstorm versus Noel matchup, or the Bumi versus Ethan one. Kind of went over both of them a little bit. But we'll see which one it ultimately is. Looks like we have.
Oh no!
We saw a player from both fights. They're just like, I don't know which one it's gonna be.
What's happening? But it looked like Ethan has dropped out, so it does look like probably the Sandstorm Noel game. Okay. So I don't know. I think this one could be interesting. Like I say, Sandstorm, he loves the online tournaments. We've all seen where he just absolutely dominates it because there's very little pressure. Obviously, there's some expectations coming into it, but so long as I think he makes it to kind of the top 3, everybody's happy, including himself. But it does seem to go further than that. However, Noel, you know, with the kind of safety picks that he has available, that Koji, the Azuri, I think could possibly catch off Sandstorm as we see him. You know, he picks the Petra up here. When he's trying new things in the online realm, it's room for Noel to get in and be like, I'm just going to play what I'm comfortable with because I want to win.
I am actually kind of interested in these picks on both sides. I had heard rumblings that both of these players were going to be working on a John Cena pick, as he's fresh and new. Not overly surprised to see Noel on the Asuri. The Asuri has kind of just been a long-standing character for him. And I guess it's kind of just him being like, you know what, I respect Sandstorm enough that I'm not going to try this relatively new switch to the John Cena. I'm going to go to the comfort of the Asuri. On the other side, Sandstorm on this Petra, it is a little bit interesting. If he was going to go in with a Gauntlets character, most people would have expected him to go for that Mordex. If he was going to go for kind of an off pick, maybe he would have gone for the Zola the Lin Fei. But I guess right now he's feeling the Petra, feeling these Gauntlets and that Orb pick.
Yeah, I think the Gauntlets obviously are the common denominator there and definitely changed the game, so to speak. We've seen some real spicy stuff with the Gauntlets, so I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks on the Gauntlets. But immediately, you know, as compared to Kui, he's got a lot more.
He hasn't been touched. He didn't get touched. I thought we were doing that normal like game 1 banter thing where you just like kind of establish things. All right, Sandstorm starting off big, showing why he's the #1 PR player in Brawlhalla.
Yeah, I mean, Noel immediately, though, just picking things straight up. Oh, my goodness, but Sandstorm, he's got an orb as well, man. It just seems like there's no stopping this guy. Incredible stuff so far. Immediately gets Noel into the orange as soon as he finds an opening straight onto the gauntlets here. And he seems to be very comfortable at the moment. Like I say, Kui wasn't sigging as much, but Sandstorm coming in knows the hitboxes, knows how he can... Yeah, knows how he can, like, move them into his strings, into his combos. And again, like I say, he's got that orb, and it's just the pace of this game is so much faster because both players very confident. Sandstorm definitely, you know, the outlier here though. Really strong stuff from him.
He is in complete control of this one. Noel tries to catch him with that side signature, maybe trying to read Sandstorm dodging forward, but Sandstorm respects the range, sits back, and Noel ends up not getting the connection. He needs the stock off of Sandstorm, otherwise he is going to be getting 3 stock quick. Teleport.
Oh man, it's all landing pretty much, and again it just
no.
kind of shows. Okay,
Nice
little
movement.
turnaround from Noel, to be fair. To at the
Yeah.
very least not get 3 stock, but I think it just kind of like it seems like okay, alrighty then, just ends on that. Gets a weapon in his face, doesn't seem to care, but it's like that side sig on the gauntlets is relatively slow from Petra, but Noel's not really in like a comfortable position to punish him. Just wants to play it safe and give him the room to kind of spam away a little bit, you know, towards the end there. And I think it definitely shows again that maybe Noel not hugely confident, hugely well read on that Petra pick.
Oh wow, Noel he had the position for the weapon pickup, but was trying to challenge Sandstorm going for it. Went for a dash jump nair, and Sandstorm just stood there. Noel moves past it, and then Sandstorm's like, all right, now I got the weapon. I'm good. Is he about to go untouched again? Ooh. He's eating a weapon toss, so it's not a true untouch.
Okay, just take a little bit of damage here, but also trying to force the issue a little bit, which is giving a bit more room to Noel. Of course, on that sword, so very confident. Nice little spin around GC into the side sig from him. But yeah, like, it's a real difficult one to call, though, because, again, you know, he's just got so much recovery to do, at least within the realms of that stock. Going to be onto the Katars. Fairly confident on these. Uzuri, probably one of the better Katar legends, personally, I think, again, because of the way the signatures sync up. But all the same, Sandstorm, he's flying.
Where you going?
Flying right now. Oh, okay. Just get punished for that one, but all the same. Looking good. I mean, he's not really had a great opportunity to extend the lead here, and really well done from Noel to keep moving forward. Not an easy string to be landing, so he's definitely, you know, warm. I just think Sandstorm is so confident. Again, it is just kind of the mind games coming in here.
But the health and stocks have been evened up at this point. Sandstorm not able to get that huge momentum that he had in game 1. It looked like he was going to have it in game 2, but Noel really slowing it down after losing that first stock.
Yeah, it definitely is a much more passive game by the looks of things. Okay, I say that, and then Sandstorm gets a quick 4-part coming through in total, I believe. But yeah, looking really doable, I have to say, for Noel. Nice little interruption, but Sandstorm, of course, repositions, goes for it again. Because that's just what he does, man. You know, he's perfectly confident to go for it, and because of that, has now brought the damage heavily in his favor. Just unpredictability seems to be the name of the game today for Sandstorm.
No, he's got a quota to fill. He's got to hit all of these signatures. Otherwise, someone's going to be very upset with him. Wildcard's going to be knocking on his door like, did you hit your signature quota for the day?
Yeah. I don't know, man. But then even there, just like off stage, it's like Sandstorm's like, listen, you're coming down. I'm not coming up there. You're coming down here, and then, you know, we'll fight it out at the bottom side of the map. And Noel's like, no, I don't want to come down, and then eventually gave in and can't get back on. So again, Sandstorm just dictating the pace, you know, dictating where the play happens, how the play happens. Just seems to be that one step ahead. Nice interruption with the GC downlight, to be fair, but is it going to be enough for Noel to pull this game back?
Like, Noel's been getting some really good interrupts on these signatures from Sandstorm, but there's just so many signatures, just so much stuff coming out from Sandstorm at any one moment that, like, yeah, you interrupted 1 or 2, but Sandstorm's just going to hit you with 3 more, and there you see the neutral signature finishes off game number 2, and they're going right back into the next one.
Yeah, man. Are we going to see the small Brawlhaven once again? The big scrap. 100% what Sandstorm is after. Noel really taking his time with it.
Yeah, they're going right back.
Man,
oh, no.
Okay. All right. So something slightly different, but all the same, you know, no platforms, short edges. We're still looking at a very scrappy game.
Yeah, big difference going to be that there's a huge distance between the platform and the kill box. So you're gonna see some characters trying to fly back towards the stage. That's gonna work out in Sandstorm's favor. Gauntlets have that side air. They can fly for a lot longer than these katars or swords can.
Tossing the weapon away as well. Sandstorm is now with a pretty hefty lead, really controlling the weapons well. Well, trying to trade the damage back, not really coming in. Great interruption on the ground pound as well. Sandstorm knows what you want to do before you even think about doing it. Again, just this one step ahead. Great dodge coming in. I mean, the damage is not quite there yet, but it's got to be inevitable that Sandstorm picks up this first stock unless Noel can pull something back to a crazy kind of level. Maybe looking to go for a bit of cheese off the edge with the GC into the neutral sig, but Sandstorm, he's not biting, he's not taking the bait. He is so very patient here. He'll let you get that slip, and as soon as he tries to move back on, Sandstorm, in the blink of an eye, sends him out with that neutral signature.
That neutral signature is so huge for this map. Very short sidewalls means that Noel eventually will have to recover, and generally, with these short walls, means you're going to recover high, and that Gauntlet neutral signature super punishes high recoveries.
Ooh. Nice little catch on the turnaround GC neutral light coming in, but again, Sandstorm, man, he's just looking for these windows, waiting to whack the signatures in there. Does get taken down. I think that might just be
not
it.
Enough jumps. Not enough jumps.
Really
He was close.
But
Weapon denial coming out from Noel. Over to the sword. There's the weapon spawn on the left side. Gauntlets already ready for Sandstorm. He's not even really been doing a lot with the orb. It's just been Gauntlet showing, and he's got some fantastic Gauntlet play.
yeah, he really does. Like, obviously just comes off of that pick, Mordex, that was the pick he made a name for himself on, and since then it's been trying to branch out as, you know, Cannon has become a little bit more prominent. Orb is pretty strong as well. I think this Petra pick could actually be really, really good for him. And suits his playstyle perfectly with the high damage, the great kit, etc., etc. Oh my goodness, man. Like, he just side sigs in, knows how Noel is going to respond. Not quite able to take him out with the GC downlight into the recovery, but damn near enough. Is left without a weapon right now. Dodges, and again, has the cojones to just turn around and go for the side light. That's all that's required as well, because Noel is not able to get back up cleanly.
We're just seeing Sandstorm start to widen this gap. Noel with a nice wake-up neutral light. Shoves him away, but he can't finish the stock. Sidelights are going to deny the weapon pickup.
Might be the difference maker as well. But again, Sandstorm just looks so clean. He gets that downlight. I'm trying to think. The like downlight into scoop into recovery, I think, is just so fast from him.
The downlight on the gauntlets,
again here.
Great range. He's also been going for a lot of downlight down air and these dares and nairs, actually. It's been really interesting to see. He's just going for the raw neutral signature in Noel's face.
Yeah, a little bit of disrespect again, but he's got such a heavy lead, at least in the set. This one's coming a little bit closer, though. Needs to start respecting if he wants to get the clean 3-0 overall. This little dodge of the down tick. Tries, but Noel's got to be used to it. Can catch you off guard for sure. Of course, that pivoting ground pound actually sends him off stage here, disarms him as well, catches him with the neutral. Gotta get the touch back. Nice little movement from Sandstorm, though, to get back on. However, I think that's going to be all she wrote. It will indeed. Kills him out, so Noel, he stays alive a little bit longer.
Yeah, he's able to take a game off of Sandstorm. That means we are going to be going to game number 4. And Sandstorm's actually going to leave Shipwreck on the board, and Noel's going to take that pick. He's like, I just won on this map. Of course I'm going to go back to it.
Again, though, man, it's just the brain of this guy, the play style of Sandstorm. He, I think, wants to take him down, you know? He's like, you might have just beat me, but I'll show you that it's not the map. It's just a lucky fluke. I'm still going to dominate you in a 3-1 fashion. You know, again, that confidence. But Noel, like you say, might have a spurt of confidence himself and start feeling himself. And it definitely does look that way a little bit. Like, a little bit cleaner. seems to be getting in. He's got a fairly hefty HP advantage early on here as well. And definitely revitalize. Great little dodge from him as well to open up, allow a bit of room. Oh my goodness, these spot dodges are actually brilliant from Noel at the moment. Really getting a read on Sandstorm and the way he's playing with Petra at the moment. That is somewhat risky, but he's able to get back up safely.
Yeah, that was scary. Noel burned an air dodge going for a dodge down, but he like kind of skirted along the wall, didn't actually reset his jumps. I was worried because Sandstorm could have gone in and kind of punished Noel for being dodgeless for a little while, but looks like Noel was able to fight his way back up, get back on stage, and maintain that first stock advantage.
Oh, Sandstorm hit by the weapon toss, but Noel, the ground pound is a little off its mark. The haymaker coming in. Noel, though, is still fairly healthy, at least in the grand scheme of this first stock. Sandstorm really wants that weapon. Going to get in with the haymaker once again. Not quite able to get the ground pound. Noel interrupts it. Can't find anything himself. Again, neutral signature this time around. Not really landing. Noel has gotten used to it. Double scoop doesn't quite meet the mark either. Sandstorm is definitely a little off his game as the teleport not going to land. It is looking very close, very difficult to call who's going to take this first stock and really could dictate where this goes. Sandstorm tosses both weapons away. I'm not sure that was entirely intentional. Spot dodge after spot dodge.
All right, nice weapon toss.
Through. He's going to get his hands back onto it.
I love what's happening. They're both deep red, and Sandstorm's been going so hard for this kind of dash dance into just a wild side signature, and Noel's really started to hone in on that. He's been punishing it, and it's one of the big reasons that you see again Sandstorm just going for these wild side signatures, and Noel recognizes it. He's gonna get the stock. Noel is starting to connect the dots on what Sandstorm is doing to him. He needs to maintain this lead. He needs like some damage onto Sandstorm.
Yeah, a little advantage could really help him out here. Oh, nice bit of movement to avoid the haymaker. Again, like you say, seems to be getting the reads that Sandstorm is just loving to play aggressive, loving to try and find the punishers. Unfortunately, can't react fast enough to the side sig from the orb. So that will be first stock taken away from Noel, but this is kind of the danger of playing the Petra. Super high damage does result in some relatively low defense, so it's kind of, if you're not if you're not consistently dishing it out, you end up getting punished.
Good dodge through from Noel. Has the stage control. Oh, was trying to catch Sandstorm. If he was a little bit higher on that recovery, would have gone over. His hitpacks would have peaked up, and Noel would have caught him. It was a really good attempt from Noel.
Sandstorm, though, turning it around. He gets a nair into the GC downlight. Super fast inputs for that. Oh, again, though, coming across, consistently landing the recoveries off the back of, whether it be the scoops, whether it be those downlights that he loves going for. And a nice catch there as he gets underneath Noel. Steals that second stock away, so now he's the one that's got the advantage and needs to look to extend this stock.
Noel just looking for the unarmed. Yep, there it is, the downlight into the neutral heavy. Went for like a good 3 or 4 downlights before he finally connected with it, but still didn't take any damage getting to that point.
Sandstorm needs to get his hands onto a weapon. Noel, unfortunately, has got control as it spawns next to him. Sandstorm, however, will eventually get one and trying to return some damage. It's not like it's a massive lead for Noel at the moment, but he is definitely looking a little bit better. There's some good movement coming in here, but
another
the recovery of the nairs, that's got to be it. Oh my goodness, the side air comes in though. Noel, he survives as Sandstorm.
He
didn't quite realize it was over. Yeah, gave him the opportunity, really gave him the way back in. Is it all going to be in vain, or can Noel turn it around? Can he make it work off the back of that sidelight into the chase dodge? I mean, Sandstorm's going to be kicking himself if that's the case.
Well, he still had the stage control, still has the damage advantage, and he's still got an extra game after this one, so he's not in too terrible of a shape, but Noel could finish this one. Yeah, the downlight into the ground pound, all off that save, that side air to chase dodge up, and Noel got to keep that stock.
Yeah, man, we've certainly got a game on our hands, and still relatively early. It's only the third set of the evening, so it'll be interesting to see whether Noel can get the run back. And we have a bit of a pause, in between maps and whatnot. Maybe just taking a bit of a breather. That was a bit of an intense one for sure for both of them. We will get straight back into it. Again, the Shipwrecked Falls and the small Brawlhaven up for grabs. What is Noel going to go for? He goes for small Brawlhaven. So actually back to the map that Sandstorm started off and looked super dominant, super aggressive. And Noel, especially in that first game, could not find a way in at all. So interesting to see maybe trying to come in from left field.
This is definitely curious because Noel, both of his wins were on Shipwreck. Now he's going back to the map that both of the wins were for Sandstorm. But I guess Noel was kind of noticing that Sandstorm was getting the read on Shipwreck, so he's going to just try to change up the map pick. Interesting that he didn't go to Enigma, though, considering that would have been one that neither of them had played this set on.
Yeah, and a complete change of pace as well. Who knows, maybe part of what Sandstorm was trying to go for, but all the same, it does look like Sandstorm is a bit more comfortable here, as we kind of expect coming into Small Brawlhaven. Seems to want to stay away from the gauntlets, and it's going to cost him a weapon for a good 20-30 seconds here.
Yeah, Noel, he's maybe playing the denial game.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Sandstorm if he's not able to get his hands on the weapons. His unarmed not looking super clean at the moment.
Noel's doing such a good job of poking Sandstorm with these neutral lines, seeing how he reacts. That time, he knew Sandstorm was going to go low, so he goes back down to the ground. This is going to be the stock. Noel, he's getting the reads. He's figuring out how Sandstorm wants to play this Petra game.
Going to go for the old classic, pick up the weapon Sig immediately.
Yeah.
Not quite going to land. Worked out early on. Will eventually, however, take him out. So, actually, I didn't think he'd done a great deal of damage, but it does look like he'd managed to get in, bringing Sandstorm onto the yellow. It's still a good gap for Noel, a safe gap for him to work for, and now just slowing things down again, waiting for Sandstorm to make a mistake, as he so often does. He loves to be the player, to find those openings, but that does obviously leave him available to punishes if it doesn't work for him.
Now it's Sandstorm who is playing that weapon denial game. Nice downlight over the whiffed sidelight from Sandstorm. There's a weapon spawn. Sandstorm able to pick up the gauntlets. Fist versus Katars.
Oh, I don't know, man. Sandstorm, again, just not looking as open. Catches. Noel catches him without the dodge, I should say, and able to find a lot of damage. Kill option is definitely available. The spot dodge coming in. A great read, a great interrupt as well from Noel. As he is really looking like he's got the old book. He is ready for Sandstorm coming into this fifth and final game. Wants to take this set. Gets caught off though by the side sig, and although he's not super deep into the red, again, super high force, really high damage or strength.
All right.
Maybe though Sandstorm, found his way in, but very quickly evened up.
We're seeing Noel really recognize that Sandstorm's main knockout options have been Gauntlet side signature and Gauntlet neutral signature. As long as Noel kind of respects both of those options, and Sandstorm is really struggling to finish the stock, and Noel's extending it. As we get down to final stocks here in game number 5, winner of this continues on. Loser of this has to go down into the lower bracket.
Yeah, and especially on a day like today when it's all best of 5s, it is a long journey back. After a grueling set such as this one, the loser going to be difficult. Sandstorm trying to find the ground pounds here, but not quite able to. Noel swapping across to the sword. I think has looked a little more confident on the Katars. I have to be honest, but the double side air coming in. Noel out of nowhere turns it around.
Yeah, I mean, like,
catches Sandstorm off guard.
Every other time he hit a side air like that, he backs up, maintains stage control. That time he saw the writing on the wall, went in for the second side air to finish the stock because he knew that all he needed to do was hit it and he would be beating Sandstorm and continuing on. And that's exactly what happened. Noel going to go into the winners finals to fight the winner of our next match, Bumi versus Ethan.
Yeah, just watching it back on the replay, really, really good stuff from him. And turning things around completely, that run back coming in, getting 3 in a row, looking a little bit more dominant towards the end as well. So really excited to see what's in store later on in the day. But of course, yes, Bumi and Ethan. I honestly don't know. I just feel Bumi, it's been a difficult kind of year for him. You know, he's hit this peak in 2v2s for sure. Like he's so clean there. But the 1v1s, just the taste of being the best, it seems to be just on the horizon for him. But is never quite able to get over that final hurdle.
That, I mean, I definitely can kind of recognize your point that Bumi has yet to reach the gold. He's been very close. He's hit the podium many times, but has not quite finished in that gold place. But at the other side, he's definitely placed better than Ethan. He's definitely the favorite in this matchup at the very least. Bumi is still a very strong 1v1, or very consistently in the top 3 of matches, or of tournaments.
Yeah, and for me as well, seems to have probably one of the deepest legend pools in the game as well. I guess just because he's been playing for so long, has that confidence and so many different weapons. You know, we've seen obviously the blasters and the bow famously enough, but the spear and swords and lances in places from him as well. A little bit of cannon here or there. So seems to have the comfort. The Ada is definitely interesting though. The blasters and the spear, the two things. Again, we're seeing a lot of people recently moving across to the very high damage legends, and it does seem to be working out for Bumi. He gets that first stock relatively cleanly. Always a difficult piece of tech. I don't think people quite appreciate going from the downlight into the recovery as seamlessly as he just did twice in a row is pretty difficult.
Yeah, he's definitely been very comfortable with that downlight into recovery. It was made a little bit easier recently, but still, Bumi making it look like it is nothing, as well as like his blasters as a whole have always been absolutely insane.
Effortless. Completely effortless. And I don't know, looking really good here. Extending the stock very well. Again, similar to Sandstorm, has that brash confidence where even if he's in the red, he's not suddenly going to, you know, turn the dial down. He will keep it on 100. And it really works out here. Got a hefty HP lead at the very least over Ethan.
Ooh, charges up the down heavy. Was expecting Ethan to kind of just drop into it and not really recognize that it was going to happen. But the side sig does finish off the stock. And likely we'll be sticking with those blasters. Just going to, yeah, juggle those weapons to delay that weapon spawn.
Nice little downlight into the recovery. Again, though, Ethan, man, those nairs, you've got to be able to react faster. Again, kind of changed a little bit recently. If you miss them, there's a bit more recovery, but when you're hitting them, you can just kind of spam away, and it's really on your opponent to stay clean, trying to catch off guard with a bit of a backdash into the ground pound, really just trying to find the second stock here, but I don't think it's going to happen. Ethan is so low right now. Bumi spamming away on the SIGs, trying to find the kill option. Maybe getting a little bit greedy for it as well. Really trying to finish with a SIG here instead of something else. Great spot dodge coming in from Ethan as well to avoid the recovery. Bumi, however, just going to wait. Great patience from him as Ethan went low there. Needed to get back onto the stage. Bumi recognized it. Just sat and waited. Finds an easy recovery in the end.
I'm curious why Ethan's running this Val. Like he has the Mordex, which is where that gauntlet carryover comes from. But he also has a really strong Hattori pickup, and yeah, there you see it. That's going to be the swap over to the Hattori coming out from Ethan for game number 2.
Yeah, I think maybe the logic behind the Val is the stats sort of counter, like I say, a lot of what people are going for with the kind of high damage, the high aggression, because she is pretty tanky, and those weapons sort of, I think, two very different playstyles where, you know, swords in and out, like I've said, and then gauntlets is sort of trying to 100 to 0 you, gimp you off. So you do really have to be on the ball playing against Val. But like you say, just not quite as comfortable as this Hattori, which immediately looks better from Ethan.
Yeah, definitely looking a little bit more comfortable with this Hattori. Trying to play this weapon denial game, but Bumi gets in, picks up the blasters, his comfort weapon. He's not getting the shots finally. Downlight side air. Just a little bit of damage, but Ethan, he's definitely playing the spacing game, really respecting the range that Bumi can cover with these blasters.
Right. But it's also relatively simple for Spear to get back in, to try and punish. A lot of active frames on a lot of the light attacks from the blasters, of course. And then also the super high speed that Hattori has got available. Number of SIGs coming through there. I think it's eventually the side SIG of Ethan that lands to finish it off. But Bumi not far behind, and he's definitely trying to even up the stocks as quickly as possible.
It might take a little bit more damage before he can finish the stock off of Ethan. And it's going to be hard to get that damage as Ethan, again, denies the weapon, goes for the move through, turnaround, double down light, goes for the high move. Oh! He tried to neutral light. He thought his neutral light had the range on that one. Like, he was standing inside the blast trying to neutral light. But Bumi just with a slight range advantage.
Millimeters away, definitely close. Trying to get the spike down here with the down air. Not going to happen. Bumi, though, beautiful. Just great read from him and immediately able to, you know, pull things back. But this is, as we've seen across the course of the day so far, the danger of going for these glass cannon picks. Momentum can just immediately shift, and suddenly, you know, you find yourself in the red where you just hit yellow a second ago. But it seems to be working out. He doesn't seem too bothered. Again, Bumi just mentally is able to not care what HP he's on. Oh, yo, my goodness.
He dropped.
He touched. Yeah, okay.
The down air dropping off, so Ethan actually didn't eat that force stump, which would have spiked him down and killed him. Bumi's still able to finish off the stock. But hopefully that wasn't too much damage to his mental on that drop down air.
Yeah, I think, again, you know, he should be cool. He should be cool. I feel like Bumi, just one of the most confident players for sure, and doesn't really, again, in the online realms, you know, let it get to him too much. But we'll see. He could definitely make a difference. Okay, getting very low here. He's not able to punish, though. Bumi had floated around for so very long before using his recovery. I feel like there was room there for Ethan to maybe toss a weapon down, follow up with an unarmed ground pound, but looking shaky for sure. Getting caught off guard, spot dodge doesn't quite work, and he will find that second stock of Bumi's, but he's just about to hit. I'd say we're in the red here, but it's just barely for Ethan, so really going to need a good turnaround from him, and not looking too likely. He takes a side sig. Bumi again dictating that pace. Great spacing, trying to go for it, trying to land them. The high dex evader coming in, but okay, there we go. The down sig is what he needed, and the weapon toss to follow up.
He knew it, wanted to take a picture, remember that moment, but he's still got one more game to go, because that was only game number 2. Game number 3, Ethan likely will be sticking with the Hattori. It worked pretty well. I really like this switch. It has the movement speed to get in and out. The Val also had the movement speed, but he also gets this spear, which is really great for kind of challenging the range that Bumi can control. Like, Bumi's got a spear of his own. Blasters has a little bit more range, but the spear can kind of also match the range of Bumi, more so than like gauntlets or a sword will.
Yeah, interesting. Definitely, again, trying to mind game things out, trying to work out what maps he wants to go to. But again, Bumi going to be happy with this middle ground with the Mammoth Fortress, as I feel, especially in NA, we'll be seeing a hell of a lot of this. It's a really just comfortable map.
Yeah, it's a popular pick for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Ethan going for the spawn weapon, immediately throws it away, and Bumi is going to get the first ticks of damage with the unarmed play. Double downlight into the side air.
Indeed, spear on spear action, but unfortunately, again, that Ada manages to land it. It's a lot more damage. Side air coming in, double chase dodge from Bumi. He is out with a vengeance right now, really wanting to clean this one up quickly. Great stuff from him. Weapon toss into the neutral, trying to land a sig here that I think will finish off Ethan. Again, trying to open up with the weapon tosses. The down sig comes in. It's got active frames all around him, Ethan, bro. You got to dodge, you got to move, you got to get out of there. Fortunately, he doesn't. Again, going to lose that first stock, trying to get a bit of damage in as well. Great interruption on the nair. Bumi just keeping the heat on, out of the frying pan and into the fire, really, for Ethan at the moment.
Yeah, Bumi's playing such a good game with this footsies. Really, like, his spacing is just on point against Ethan. Offstage opportunity, but Ethan knows he can't go for that quick dash jump ground pound. The second he goes for it, Bumi will just nair and then get back up safely. Nice pogo.
Ooh.
Can he get the stock though? Second pogo. That'll do it.
Beautiful. And you know, it's something that I think has been missing a little bit from Ethan is kind of getting those down airs, the pogos, we'll hold the point because it looks like Bumi might just be able to find the second stock pretty quickly here, in all honesty. But yeah, he wasn't fully punishing, it seems, in the previous game at least, once he's moved on to this spear. Eventually goes out there to Bumi on the blasters. But yeah, and Bumi getting away with going super low, getting really aggressive, having very few resources available, and Ethan just not fully punishing him for that. And you know, Bumi's going to run away if you give him the opportunities, if you give him the openings, and let him continue to play his own game without having to worry about how you're going to react. Then you're just going to end up getting beat.
Yeah, Bumi definitely playing his own game here as he's just in complete control. Oh my gosh, the movement from Bumi, chain dodge up, then back down for the downlight. Ethan has no idea how to react against Bumi, and yeah, that's a quick 3-0 for Bumi, earning a spot in the top 3 to fight Noel in the winners finals. Before that, I think we're going down to the losers quarters.
Yeah, I don't know. I expected, you know, like we said, Bumi definitely the favorite coming into it, but I feel like Ethan definitely could have given him a bit of a stronger run for his money. It didn't really seem any of those games. It was a 3 overall. It didn't seem like any of it was super close, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think there was any moment where, I mean, that's rough to say that. There are definitely moments where Ethan had some life, where he had some showings, where like he was starting to find the positioning, but then Bumi just kind of like levels up. He's like, oh, you're starting to recognize, then I'm just going to change up everything, and everything that you just learned, everything you just downloaded, thrown out the window, and now you got to re-figure it out. That's just the power of Bumi, like such an incredible 1v1er. Like his blasters looking absolutely on point. His spear game, actually, when he had the moments with it, looked incredibly strong. And very just like oppressive with his weapons.
Yeah, definitely. And where Sandstorm I think was a little more awkward for him. Definitely much more adaptable from Bumi, just even within the games themselves. But yeah, it does look like we're going to be seeing Sandstorm again, I believe, up against Simba. Just waiting for Simba to figure out what he's going to pick. Lo and behold, it's the Hitori, so no real changes. But Sandstorm on the Wu
still has gauntlets?
Now, again, yeah, we've got this common denominator coming in, but the play style maybe a little bit different on the Wushang. I mean, I don't know, to be fair. He was really in there with the SIGs on Petra. I think Wushang, because of the decks, because of the kit he's got available, might end up getting away with a little bit of heavier SIG play once again. So we'll see.
For like a brief period in time when Wushang got played in competitive, spear side signature was a really popular option, and considering the way that Sandstorm's been playing today, which is very side sig friendly, might see that happen as well. Nice double downlight into the side air. Everyone, they're going for these double downlights. Gotta make sure you dodge.
Yeah, man. You miss the timing, you know, and you end up trying to spam away on that dodge button. Not quite going to work out for you. Really good catch as well. Great use of the platform from Sandstorm. I have to be honest. And just keeping Simba, again, similar, you know, to what we've seen from Bumi, at arm's length. Side airs coming in. Just spamming away on that. Going to be landing those grounded side airs. So very difficult. In comes side sig, as you say. And there you go. That will be all she wrote, the GC into the side sig in the end. The first stock goes the way of Sandstorm. So he's got a spear, you know, it's similar to the orb being there as well. He's got the spear on deck, it seems.
He definitely has some spear play. I'm really liking these kind of forward pushing side airs that are coming out, right? Like he technically did it with a neutral light and then chased forward with the side air, but he also did it side air, chase forward, second side air. I'm liking him kind of just like pushing that aggression on top of Simba. Like Simba is known for being a fast playing player, known for being very like quick and reactive. Just staying in his face, really putting Simba off his game.
Yeah, and that seems to be maybe a little bit of the overall thing for Simba. He starts off a little slow, I think, and then definitely starts to pick things up across the course of the set. At least that's what we've seen so far. But here in this first game, you know, it's not as dominant as maybe it looked for just a second there. Sandstorm seems to have fallen off as Simba has gotten used to it. And again, you have to kind of beg that question. It's sort of maybe the opening looked so good because Simba was missing his dodge timings, and now is cool, calm, and collected, and definitely on point with it. Does miss the neutral sig, allows Sandstorm to go for a side sig here, and again we're seeing a little bit of the Sandstorm spam. Landing a little bit, but not quite. Indeed, that side sig is so deadly on the gauntlets. You've really got to give Wu Shang the room and respect the option. I like that from Sandstorm as well. The kind of on the same level ground pound's pretty cool.
Just that kind of stand still and then just quick jump ground pound. Covers both sides. That falling spear. There's the double sideline. He was trying to get that read. Ends up connecting into the recovery. And I mean, Sandstorm's got the lead. Can he maintain this lead? Can he push it though? I don't know. Has yet to connect on the Simba on this final stock.
Yeah, Simba trying his best to take this second stock away. Sandstorm is so deep into the red. Any damage is good damage at this point, really, if he's able to get any more. Not going to happen, though. Tries to go for it, but Sword D-Light, it can be so fast, and just sort of the spin around kind of play that a lot of players go for as well to catch you off guard. GC a little bit as well, so it's just slightly off the ground. That D-Light on the sword, man, so much versatility. So hard if you're not able to, get a read on how your opponent is choosing to use it. Sandstorm, though, thanks to the neutral game reset, again, playing the footsies pretty well.
Nice
just
read.
Straight in, super aggressive. Simba will whack him off, though, and get him disarmed. However, he gets disarmed himself. Looking good for Sandstorm, denying the weapons away. Onto the gauntlets. Dancing not quite going to land. Trying his best here.
Simba staying in position. He's going to eat the down sig from behind. You saw him really trying to stay on that left side. Like, just be there. Maybe try to catch Sandstorm. As opposed to go for the right side weapon. He'd rather be in position, be ready to hit Sandstorm than try to go for that weapon advantage.
Yeah, I do believe no changes coming in. So we'll see here. Sandstorm, though, again, just seems to be this one step ahead. Simba, the Hattori. I don't know. Okay, there's a change.
Didn't catch the swap.
We went in super fast. Yeah. Alrighty then. The Zul, we know he's got one. We know how strong the Zul can be, and it could just be that sort of left field pick that really seals the deal here for Sandstorm.
Sandstorm yet to pick up a weapon, though. Simba really playing that weapon control game. There's the cannon pickup. Sidelight, dares, sidelight. Goes for a second dare. Simba able to dodge it. There's a ground pound.
Again, though, really got good control here. Some good ground pounds, some good area denial. Simba is keeping up with the damage, though, for sure. The Sandstorm, that cannon, man, it's so beefy, and again, a great deal of options in terms of how you open up, in terms of, whether you just want to go for the quick damage of the downlight into the neutral air, or whether you want to try and string somebody off the map. At the moment, Sandstorm doesn't really need to go for that option. A lot of these SIGs, the classic bear trap, of course. The side air will eventually finish it, but I don't know, man. That was a weird one. That was a weird one.
He went for the pickup neutral light, thinking it was going to be a sword. The sword would have hit stacked right there, but he picks up a spear, so it's just this kind of goofiness of him standing on him, poking behind him, but Sandstorm was holding a bear trap in front of him. Just fun interaction. But Simba does end up with the weapon advantage, as there's no weapon spawns. There it is on the right side. Sandstorm, what's he got in the axe play?
Yeah, immediately just coming off as well. It looks like he is trying to hit a few more grounded dares. Oh my goodness, and it's really working out. Got a lot more damage coming in on this axe from Sandstorm so far. Again, as to be expected, side light into the side air.
Neutral light?
The neutral of the cannon, I think that will do it. Yeah, nothing coming for Simba, no recovery options at all. So actually a really heavy lead here for Sandstorm.
He's definitely very healthy. It's when he's unarmed that Simba's able to get some sort of advantage. This time, it's going to be Sandstorm who disarms himself, was going for the down toss, and that gives Simba such huge range to play with, but there's the cannon spawn. Here comes the damage coming out from Sandstorm, downlight side air. Can he stop him from getting back to the wall? No, Sandstorm gets back up safely.
Yeah, Simba, though, sends him right off the other edge. Oh, nice. I'm not sure. He did touch. Is it going to be enough? Not quite. Simba playing the mind games pretty effectively, making him kind of use his resources a little later than he would like. Has to be less predictable, and was kind of relying on Simba overextending him and giving him the option to chase dodge back in, but it doesn't happen here, and weapon denial coming through from Simba, a greedy haymaker for Sandstorm. However, the Nair will at the very least allow him to get the axe, but Simba immediately catches one in mid-air and looking good here on the spear, keeping Sandstorm down. Oh, beautiful pogo.
Hey.
That's going to be it. And yeah, the egg drop, fantastic stuff to finish off. Simba, he turns it around.
That is textbook spear play. Like, if you want to learn spear again, you just go back. Like, Simba's spear is actually like really freaking clean. The side light, gravity cancel, downlight, whiff, into side light again, and goes off stage. It's a Sair, gets the egg drop, then goes for the weapon toss just to stop the insane movement of the gravity cancel neutral signature. Like, just such good spear play coming out from Simba.
Yeah, and really turning it up towards the end. We do have a bit of a change here.
Yeah, it's a Lin Fei.
Again, the cannon coming out, but we know Sandstorm, again, has played this Lin Fei in the past. It's a very different style to the Zuldo, where he's all about the big damage. Lin Fei is about just sticking on you, especially with those katars, which at the moment kind of looking a little better as a weapon, but Lin Fei certainly has been dealt with, I suppose, somewhat.
Yeah, she did lose some true combos very recently, but she's still incredibly strong. And you're seeing it already coming out from Sandstorm. He thought he was dead. He went back up onto the stage instead of finishing the stock. Tried to learn from his mistake against Noel, where he overextended and got Noel back up. This time he does get the stock, though.
Yeah, and a really dominant start, actually. Taking very little damage, in all honesty, so looking really good here. Onto the cannon is not quite as comfortable at the moment, though, by the looks of things. Simba is definitely able to get back in. The katars were very, very dominant. But Simba is looking a bit stronger and seems to be dictating the pace against the cannon for sure, doing a really good job of just keeping away to make sure that Sandstorm is not able to find the opening. Simba has not been touched in so very long. My goodness, we'll get a bit of a bonk. Yeah, but still, man, he's able to deny the weapons away. A little bit of a bait coming in as well.
Yeah.
He throws the weapon down, making it look like he was going to swap to another one, but doesn't. He finds the kill option.
He is going to be sticking with the sword play. Spot dodge to avoid the unarmed from Sandstorm. Still trying to deny, but Sandstorm finally picks up the katars. Goes for the fireball. Connected on the first stock, not this time. Simba's ready for it, but the side signature. Does he have the jumps? Nope.
Yeah. So Sandstorm does look a little better on the katars. I think you start to realize it as well. I think the main thing here, you know, moving in with his playstyle, of course, just a lot harder to punish at the end of the day. And Simba is definitely struggling against them, although Sandstorm, again, kind of overextending a little. Side air misses from Simba. He's definitely fighting back here, but obviously that difference is the kind of full stock at the moment that Sandstorm has in terms of the HP, in terms of the actual numbers themselves. So Simba really got his work cut out if he wants to fight back here, but definitely doable. However, he's forced onto this slightly weaker spear at the moment. Definitely has been looking cleaner on the sword for sure. Trying to make his way back on. Oh, he's just, again, missing so many attacks, and Sandstorm has a real run-of-the-mill just to get in. Great dodge read, not quite able to find the sig, kind of threw it the wrong way. I think at the moment it's a question of when, not if, for Simba.
And just one more signature, and Sandstorm will be closing out this game, but Simba still trying to hold on. He has decent damage on the Sandstorm second stock. It's just that Sandstorm has a whole other stock. Oh, missed the true combo. A little bit of nerves coming out from Simba. Does finally get it. He's going to shrug that one away.
I think maybe just hit him right at the end of the downlight, and then moved a bit further backwards as well. Just a bit awkward, really, it seems. Instead of the clean jump upwards, it wasn't quite perfect. And like I say, question about when, not if, Sandstorm will indeed take us to the fourth game here with a 2-1 lead. So still
who's
within
the swap,
doable
though?
territory for Simba.
But who's the swap? Sandstorm swapped characters every single game. What's the swap this time? No, sticking with the Lin Fei. Okay. He's just trying to find the right canon character. It wasn't the Zol, it was the Lin Fei. The guitars look good. So not too weird to see Sandstorm stick with the Lin Fei. Just was curious if he was going to do kind of his own thing and change it up every single game.
I mean, possibly, you know, a little bit more respect coming in as well, which is nice to see. Not kind of messing around, just changing. And again, that disrespect that Sandstorm is kind of known for, especially in the online realms, again. But yeah, like you say, the guitars of the Lin Fei looking really good. Onto Apocalypse here, and still a map that I think people are sort of getting used to. The walls are deceivingly shorter than they look, so you do have to be really careful, especially for those guitars, to be fair. On the recovery, you know, if he ends up recovering into the lower wall, as it were, might end up screwing himself a little bit, but as yet, he seems okay. However, Simba, not okay in the sense that Simba is really dominating to open up.
Yeah, Simba just looking real comfortable right now. And again, he's going to be sticking with the sword. The sword overall has been working really well for him against Sandstorm. Trying to deny the weapons. Yes, he will. Sandstorm having no opportunity in on top of Simba.
Yeah, indeed. Lands the neutral light. Okay, going to get the reversal here. Don't think it's going to be enough, though. Simba still has everything available and not quite in the kill potential. Sandstorm trying to land Sig or 2 or 3, maybe. At the moment, yeah, Simba really dictating the pace, extending the stock brilliantly. As he's leaving Sandstorm in the orange at the moment. Looks like it's going to go a bit deeper as well.
He's just
Simba's
getting this
really
damage.
turned it around.
Sandstorm struggling to finish the stock.
Real tough to watch at the moment.
Oh,
And it
no.
actually will be Simba to find another stock before he's even lost his first.
Unless something big comes out from Sandstorm, we are going to be going to a game number 5. Simba with a double downlight side air, gets a nair afterwards. Simba feeling real comfortable right now.
Sandstorm eventually finds that first stock, but is it going to be enough? I mean, trying to go for the weapon denial game here. Again, though, forced onto the slightly weaker cannon at the moment. Not quite as warm on it. I say that.
Interesting.
He does certainly pick things up.
We're in a gravity cancel
combo
down
coming in. Yeah, something a bit unorthodox to catch Simba off guard.
Going for these recoveries, these neutral signatures. Has Simba in the off stage, but still huge damage advantage going the way of Simba.
Definitely looking good at the moment.
Caught the spot
For
dodge.
him. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I don't know. Sandstorm's picked it up towards the end. Seems to be sticking on the cannon at the moment as well. I think just because of that potential for it to do so much damage at once, but just don't quite think it's going to be good enough. Simba has got a great deal of control, not quite able to find the recovery though. Sandstorm given another shot to even things back up, but he is relatively deep into the red. Meanwhile, Simba yet to take any damage here. Say that, spoke too soon it seems, and a recovery lands, but is it going to be enough for Sandstorm to turn things around? That's the real question.
It does get him back onto the stage, does get him this cannon pickup. Those cannon blasts from underneath are going to keep Simba juggled, but just the tap, almost enough to finish off. Simba knows that just one more recovery from either weapon is all that he needs to get this stock off of Sandstorm and go to game number 5.
Yeah, I think the thing is as well, though, they both know that. Side light coming in, Simba keeping Sandstorm off, and eventually the side out will be all that's required. Simba just playing it nice and slow, nice and passive to find that opening. Doesn't need to get greedy because he doesn't really need a great deal to finish off there. And like you say, across to the 5th game. So again, Sandstorm not quite looking as dominant as maybe we would expect. Gets knocked down into the lower bracket. Simba really giving him a good run for his money here as well. And I don't know, looking a bit shaky. I think definitely the more random picks this time. Uh-oh.
Yep, that's a Mordex.
That's not random.
No, Sandstorm sticking with them. They're switching over to the Mordex now. This is kind of his claim to fame character. As we get right on into game number 5, looks like Sandstorm going to give the full amount of respect he can to Simba because he wants to finish this set, win it out, and go on into the loser semis.
Yeah, for sure. And like we say, he has the Lin Fei, he has the Zulus, played them before, found great success with them before, but maybe not as clean. Got this Wu Shang, it seems, that he's trying to work on. However, Mordex is his real bread and butter, of course, just as a player, especially on that gauntlet. Well, those gauntlets, I should say. Really, really good stuff, and has been playing them across the course of the day, and is coming in very angry, very aggressive. Like you say, this is, in terms of Sandstorm, the most amount of respect he can show is playing his safest pick, and that's about as far as it goes, because he's been dishing out the damage massively. Simba is very far behind, and Sandstorm just immediately, real change of pace for him coming into this game.
Neutralite into the recovery. Simba does not have the movement. Sandstorm already knew was just clearing the board, getting rid of any sort of weapon spawns. He's not even going for the juggles as much as he's just like, I don't want any weapons on the field. Just going to keep rotating between the ones that I've got.
Yeah, and it's going to be a hard fight here for Simba to even just get the stocks. All the same, Sandstorm again looking really good in that scythe. He does like the weapons that have the potential to just 100 to OU, and really throw you for a loop, really scare you into panicking and whatnot. The cannon, the gauntlets, and the scythe, all really safe weapons for him.
Yeah,
Not
just
feeling
anything.
on the gauntlets though at the moment, though.
Anything that if you make one bad dodge, Sandstorm so
Right.
good at punishing it. But he's not really finding any momentum, like you're saying. Wasn't finding it with the gauntlets on the second stock. Wasn't really finding it with the scythe on that second stock, and that means Simba is able to close out that first stock and keep these stock count even.
Yeah, definitely looking good here.
Nice, got him with the
Simba
double
is
sidelight.
fighting back. Yeah, he's, oh my goodness, actually really finding some damage. Sandstorm is able to just escape as possibly another GC sidelight could have been straight off the top for Sandstorm. Simba's really switched up here. Again, as we saw a little bit in some of the games that have happened across the day, he does have this power to sort of turn it around and really look untouchable.
Nice.
In places, Sandstorm forced to move in. I think tried to dodge through, unfortunately not quite able to do so. And I don't know if you noticed, there was a little bit, it looked like he dropped a combo as he didn't, well, he did active input on a sidelight, and it sent Simba away from him as opposed to just upwards. So,
Well, you get more
again,
damage on that forward kick on the sidelight, so
True.
maybe he's just trying to get as much damage as he could in that moment. Burn dodge.
Tell, but Simba's just looking really good at the moment, I think. Really in control, to say the least. Sandstorm's brought it back. It all comes down to the one stock shootout in the end.
With these final stocks here for game number 5. In the upper bracket, no one was able to win these final stocks. Get Sandstorm, but Sandstorm, oh my goodness. Now he's starting to find that momentum.
Really fighting back. Really looking good. Trying to go for the reversal Nares to grab Simba, chuck him off the side of the stage.
Oh,
However, Simba again has kind of
Threw it the
recovered
wrong way.
in here, and weapon toss the wrong way could make a difference. However, Simba is going to keep Sandstorm again off stage at arm's length. Is able to make it back up. Simba, the threats, baiting out with the weapon toss, picking it back up. Side air comes through. Able to retrieve the sword here as well. Sandstorm eventually gets in. Simba's actually without a weapon for a short while here. Maybe a little longer. Sandstorm going to get the weapon denial in, but Simba's looking to end it in unarmed.
What?
He's not too bothered. The point
that
blank
got bad.
ground pound is not quite enough.
Simba's got so much health.
He's sweating, dude. Yeah, and Simba's got a lot of room to work with for sure.
Sandstorm. Now he's over to the gauntlets. He needs a huge momentum swing. He cannot afford a side air at this point. Like Simba has shown that one good side air will basically finish off the stock. And there, not a lot of force. There's the side air, and Simba knocks out Sandstorm to earn his spot in the loser semis. That means our number 1 power rank player, the number 1 seeded player in this tournament, has just been knocked out after losing to Noel and then Simba in the losers bracket.
Yeah, definitely surprising. I just feel, coming into today, it seems a little bit of maybe the curse of having so many legends that he's got available that he's working on. It's sort of a jack of all trades and master of none kind of thing. Like we saw him, he moved on to the Mordex. We were like, right, this is it. Started off really well, looking pretty dominant in the first couple stocks, but not able to transfer it into a full-on victory because I just don't think he's 100% comfortable where Simba's played nothing but Hattori all day, probably all tournament. Is really, really warm on that legend. Sandstorm, meanwhile, not so much.
Very real possibility. But either way, that does mean Simba's going to continue on, and we are going to be moving over to Pugsy versus Ethan. Pugsy has been playing that Jala. Looks like he's going to be sticking with that Jala. And Ethan, I guess this is his game plan. Start with the Val, see how it works. If it does well, stick with it. If it doesn't work, switch it up, go to the Hattori.
Yeah, we'll see kind of how this game plan goes. Pugsy, we remember a little while ago now, but he was looking really good on the axe, particularly here of this Jala. Starting off the sword might give the room to Ethan, but definitely testing the waters out. I think both players are at the moment. Ethan trying to move in with this Val. The side sig, of course, wraps across the edge. The neutral sig will land. Oh, and a nice little bit of movement trying to use the platform. He will actually, in the end, with the ground pound into the recovery. Great deal of damage here done by Ethan, but out comes the axe of Pugsy, trying to turn things around. Not quite sent out by the side sig, but surely not long for this world. Got to be careful, Ethan. Give respect to the dares. Not quite going to be enough as yet, though. Ethan is looking set to pick up this first stock.
He's immediately honed in on the fact that Pugsy's doing a lot of this kind of jumping in a very vertical space. He's not really jumping forward as much as Pugsy's kind of bunny hopping. And so you're seeing a whole lot of these neutral signatures coming out from Ethan, but it's the side signature to get that first stock. And I kind of expect him to stick with the sword. No, kind of wants to warm up his gauntlet, see how Pugsy's going to react out of these side lights, see what kind of dodge reads he can get. Because, of course, these are all best of fives. So the more information you can get early, the better you're going to be doing later on in these sets.
Right. That definitely seems to be the way a lot of players are playing it. You can kind of get the download mid-game as well if you really take it nice and slow in the first couple games. And then you start to pick the pace up once you have got a bit of a read on your opponent and figured out a game plan. Ethan going very low indeed, is avoiding these dares and the ground pounds that Pugsy is throwing out perfectly, though. He's doing a really good job of just kind of remaining untouched for the most part. But it is, again, the nature of that Jala. She only has to hit one or two, and suddenly, she ends up winning a trade where you on the Val are maybe getting 3 or 4 hits in before you have to dodge away before any kind of return comes in. Pugsy
That's nice.
Goes low to avoid it. Yeah, it's really good. Sliding side sig from Ethan to just area deny.
Yeah, just kind of really put Pugsy in a catch-22 position. If he went up, got caught by that side signature. If he went down like he did, just didn't have the movement to get back up to that wall.
Yeah, and Pugsy now maybe getting a bit greedy to finish things off, forced onto slightly weaker swords. Doing his damnedest to try and get in here, and I mean the damage is coming through, but Ethan,
nice
high defense. Unfortunately, neutral sig is enough for Pugsy. Fortunately for Pugsy, unfortunately for Ethan, of course. Now back onto the axe, but it's taking a lot of damage. Ethan coming in with the double chase dodge as well. Trying to get the gimp in here, not quite going to land. Pugsy, can he make it? He just about makes it back on, but the side sig as Ethan has that stage control. We'll find the first game. It's hella close, though.
Yeah, Pugsy was really trying to fight his way back in on that final one, but Ethan just barely manages to get that side signature over that soft platform. And Pugsy's like, I'm not liking that map. Bans out Small Mammoth. I kind of expect a small Brawlhaven here. No, it's going to be Small Enigma. Interesting. I was thinking maybe a small Brawlhaven because it's kind of the closest of the 3 to that Mammoth pick. But I think Ethan kind of recognizes that Pugsy would have the advantage in terms of kill potential. Yes, Ethan will be able to get kills at a little bit more of a standard rate, but that means Pugsy will be getting kills at a very accelerated rate with how close those kill boxes are.
Indeed. And the Enigma again, where Ethan kind of has the lead, allows him to maybe slow things down a bit. A lot of platforms here as well, which I think really plays into the gauntlets to get those grounded resets to really extend strings and whatnot. So that could definitely come into it. Also works out for the axe, though, for sure. So it will be interesting to see how these players work through here. As you can see, Pugsy going for it. The side light into the neutral air, into the down air he's trying to go for off the back of the platforms. Sticking the action near the platforms as well, and actually heavily dominating, as Ethan has not got a hit in for quite some time here.
Just axe swings for days, so many chunking hits. Ground pound connects, and Pugsy is going to take the first stock off of Ethan. Ethan immediately goes for the ground pound, not even worried. Like, generally on the respawn, you're playing defensive, looking for the weapon spawn, but Ethan's like, nah, I want to get that stock. I want to go in.
Yeah, definitely feeling confident after, you know, the early lead that he's got in the set. Bit of a tough one for him across the course of the day. I mean, getting dominated by Bumi early on, they've got to be careful that sort of mindset doesn't come in. That actually takes out Pugsy. He was caught with no recovery options at all, so fairly easy end to that first stock for Ethan, but a good extension, I would say, from Pugsy to bring Ethan towards the orange here. So definitely dictating the pace a little bit better here in the second game is Pugsy.
Yeah, his axe is again coming alive. It looks like it just has a little bit of warm-up every time he gets into a new set, but once he really starts to get the heat and he's getting those hits onto his opponents, these
really
big side air hits, down air, done.
Yeah, really good reads, really good movement to just sort of bait Ethan into coming back, making it look like Pugsy was trying to jump off for a quick ground pound, something along those lines. Yeah, something he does really well with the axe as well is just sort of gliding along as the axe is kind of known for, but it seems he's getting sort of the optimal coverage, as it were, with the down airs, with the sares, and really making it difficult for Ethan to predict where his hitboxes are actually going to end up being.
Oh, just the wake up neutral light from Pugsy catches Ethan on the dodge through. Nice down light. There's the neutral signature. Gonna launch Pugsy. Almost gets the stock with that side signature. Just a little bit too high up.
Yeah,
Neutral signature
for Ethan, Pugsy survives quite a while there. Doesn't really get too much damage. More than he'd already gotten type thing. I think it was just a case of Ethan batting Pugsy about a couple times in a row. Eventually able to find it though. And still within doable realms here. Oh, especially Pugsy. Okay, doesn't quite fully punish. Just a neutral coming in, and not too much follow-up from Ethan, I've noticed on these gauntlets as well. Seems to be just looking to find bits of damage. Maybe the odd gimp attempt here or there, as you know, he dash jumps into an air, but it's really not working out. And as soon as again Pugsy gets onto this axe, he's just got Ethan's number.
Yeah. Pugsy's
decisive towards the end, especially.
Pugsy's axe just complete domination over Ethan. That's going to put him at 1 apiece now as we get right on into game number 3. What's the map pick going to be from Pugsy? Small Mammoth is the one that he lost on, but I guess it's also the most comfortable of the 3, lesser of the evils, so to speak.
Still on this Val as well. Ethan, interestingly enough, I feel like a lot of Vals just leave her stats where they are. But going for a point in the strength could be interesting.
That's a common one, kind of middle it out a little bit, like 5.566, I think is what it ends up, something close to that.
Yeah.
Just kind of make up for the fact that she does have a relatively low base strength. Oh, Pugsy, where are you going? Goodbye.
Uh-oh. Well then. Again,
he went pretty hard for that.
Trying to open up. Yeah, we were really trying to open up, and then Pugsy goes super deep. Ethan's in with the gauntlets. The ground pound that resets so quickly. There's very few recovery frames really, so just easily able to punish.
But still, Pugsy getting some good damage out onto Ethan. Kind of lost that first stock a little early, but still, he got a lot of hits onto him, and yeah, he's gonna be switching back to this axe. It's the dominant weapon for Pugsy.
Yeah, for sure. We've definitely seen him turn games around. Wow. Really just playing it risky there that Ethan's not going to hit him. Danzig comes in. Quite able to finish off, though. The dare of the sword. He managed to get the touchback, so He will find his way back on. Really getting aggressive, though, as he goes for a ground pound. Pugsy holding that so long. Is that going to cost him?
Nope.
I mean, at the very least, Ethan is extending the stock here and bringing Pugsy down to the red. So, I mean, he's going to be happy with this at this point.
Pugsy now trying to find that finisher. He's been going for the off stage and getting so close, but just not quite hitting it. Yeah, it's going to be the on stage down signature to close out the stock. Throws away the sword. Yeah, primes that axe to be picked up later. Yep, there's the axe pickup.
And again, and this is where, you know, Pugsy seems to come into fruition, is when he gets this axe, he's put under a little bit of pressure, he performs relatively well with it, trying to get the catches. Of course, the classic axe recovery right at the end is able to catch Ethan off. Really good dodge reads coming in, and is returning a lot of damage here. Ethan, though, is getting close to the kill option. Got to be very careful, trying to use the platform to the best of his ability.
Nice.
Pugsy not quite able to do so, but this damage, they're essentially even on it at the moment, and Pugsy just keeps him away. 2 side airs in a row, turns it around completely from red versus white to red into the kill. Incredible stuff, honestly, from Pugsy.
Pugsy's axe play is just, it's so incredibly strong, but that time he spot dodges in the range of Ethan's recovery, so he ends up eating that recovery, and it's going to put him on the final stocks here in game number 3. There's a weapon spawn. It's the axe. Ethan now has to respect this range from Pugsy. He goes forward, tries to go for the reaching down light, but Pugsy outside of it and will punish with a sidelight of his own, that kind of longer reaching axe move.
Just looking so dominant. Like I say, gets that axe in hand, gets a bit of pressure on him, you know, back against the wall, and he just kind of turns around, takes his axe, chops through that wall, gives himself a little bit more room, and is able to just work with it to no end. Ethan has been kind of locked out a little bit here. I mean, eventually, you know, is getting close to evening things up here. Nice haymaker. Will keep Pugsy at arm's length, but good dodge of the side sig. Sliding neutral, though, is a great little catch. It disarms Pugsy as well. He tries to go in to finish with the uppercut, not quite going to land it. Great weapon denial coming in. Just a split second of pause from both players as they try to find the reads, and Pugsy is on the weaker sword. That will be all she wrote as Pugsy goes out top. Ethan, he does finally manage to pull that one back in his favor, but it looked very, very dicey there in the mid-game.
Yeah, it was close, but when Pugsy kind of got disarmed, when he basically anytime he doesn't have the axe, is when Ethan starts to find his momentum, starts to find those hits. Pugsy's got to be careful. He's got to find more momentum with this sword in order to kind of force Ethan to respect it. But we're going to go right on into game number 4. Same map picks. Ethan's already won on this map twice. Is this going to be number 3 to close out the set? Is Pugsy going to find it?
I think, like you say, though, Pugsy has this very one-track style of play, very transparent style of play. It's like, when I've got an axe, respect me. Anything else, and suddenly you have a lot more room. And, you know, if you can get that disarm him, and if you can force him to toss it away, I think Ethan is starting to realize that that's kind of the win condition for Pugsy ultimately. And opens up pretty well here into what could be the final game of the set.
As when the offstage catches him with the side sig. Ethan not even respecting the axe play from Pugsy anymore. He's like, I'm done. I'm going to win this one. This is my map. He denies all the weapons. Sidelight gravity cancel side sig. The read from Ethan. Saw that he was going to dodge down and just blew his brains out. Sent him off the map. And puts Pugsy onto a second stock.
Yeah, I mean, as well has to, you know, dodge downwards towards that left-hand side. So really good stuff from Ethan on the read. Looks he going to try and return it, but again, is on this sword, not feeling hugely confident. Can Ethan extend the stock? Trying to get the catch, not quite going to land it. Gets onto the axe here, though. Pugsy holding that ground pound once again. It really does make your heart skip a beat, but thankfully he will clean things up. Takes a tiny bit of damage into his second stock here, but essentially all even. And again, Pugsy with a bit more stage control now that it's been reset. Back into that neutral, and the axe looking so good. Able to turn it around again, and now he's the one that has the slight lead.
Dares. Goes for more dares. This time it's the ground pound dare. Goes for a dare. Again, he goes for these dare resets. onto Ethan. Sidelight, side air, and the stock is gone. Uh-oh. It's going to stop the prime. Pugsy, where are you going?
Oh, no.
Rest in peace, Pugsy's second stock. It's okay. He's got a third one. But that is unfortunate. That's going to put him down to final stock here. Like you said, this could be the final game. Pugsy's back in. Has a sword pickup.
Yeah, I mean, respect to Ethan for sure, but I'm really not sure. I think that's definitely, in this kind of a scenario, what is going to throw you off. Yeah, he does kind of get back in, but it really was looking good. He started to turn it around again, loses his weapon as he tosses it away. Ethan has got great control here on the edge guard. Will eventually lose said control, and Pugsy gets back onto the axe. Gotta respect it, and I think Ethan will start to. He realizes the opportunity is being given by the Brawlhalla gods, but still, Pugsy is fighting back, able to regain this HP lead thanks to that axe, thanks to the high damage, the high dex of Brawlhalla. Gets a little bit caught, bounced off the wall. Still had his recovery to get back on. I mean, it's neck and neck at the moment. Could go either way. Ethan trying to find the openings. Pugsy trying to find the finish.
Nice.
Side sig, that will be it. And Pugsy, despite the hardships, is able to stay alive.
Great composure from Pugsy to close out game number 4. Put it into game number 5. The axe plays coming out from the young Pug. But again, you gotta give respect to Ethan. He saw what happened and he was like, all right, I'm gonna sit over here. I'm gonna wait for you to come back into this, and then we'll try to play it out and close out this game.
We'll see. Is Ethan going to stick to the same pick, or is he thinking to change things up here? I think he might be waiting to possibly change things. We also, I think, want to make sure that Pugsy is cool. Not really sure what the issue was. It's generally a, you DC, and in that kind of time before it's putting the bot in, you run off. But then also, you never know. He might have dropped his controller or something a bit awkward like that. Like, I'm not quite sure whether he's a controller or a keyboard player, I have to be honest. But
I think he's one of the few keyboard and mouse players in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
he also uses a mouse for light attack and whatnot. Like, that's his attack buttons. But it seems like everything's sorted. He's good to go as we get right on into game number 5. Pugsy versus Ethan, but that's not the weapon he wanted. That's a sword. He's going to be waiting for that weapon spawn, but he doesn't throw away the sword, does not want to leave himself unarmed against Ethan's gauntlets. That would be an even worse position.
Yeah, definitely. Ethan. Okay.
Oh my gosh,
ground
3,
pound after ground
4.
pound after ground pound. It's enough. It's enough. That is just salt in the wound of the DC from the previous game, or the lost stock at the very least, and then just the disrespect. Not really able to get back up. Spamming the ground pounds. You hate to see it.
Yeah, Pugsy just kind of eating all of those fists to the face. Ended up losing that first stock, but now he's back to his comfort weapon, but he's going off stage. He's going for that big momentum play in the off stage, trying to get some sort of gimp, but I almost want to see him play the neutral on stage. That's where Pugsy's been getting so many more better trades, which is very bad English on my part. So many more better. Nice neutral light.
All the same, it's definitely true, right? Because he just is able to remain unpredictable, changing things up. Some nice downlights coming in on the sword, though, to find that first stock, but not going to stick to the sword. But yeah, like I say, he opens up fairly consistently. It's that side light most of the time, sometimes downlights if he's in the air. But then it's really hard to know what he's going to do next. And I think that's where the strength of Pugsy has been. The high damage, the unpredictability that he's got on this axe.
Dare goes for the ground pound. Yep. Ethan not gonna panic jump into it.
Definitely the patience game really paying off for both these players at the moment. Pugsy is just that kind of reach behind. Okay. I think he thought he was a little closer to the wall on that. Goes for a side air and fell to his death. Not close enough to get the touch as well as the side air, and it felt like a bit of a last second decision to go for that rather than something that he was planning on doing, and obviously a lot of the game is reactionary, but all the same, it just really does not work out there, and that might just be the small lead that Ethan is able to run away with.
Yeah, he's starting to widen this gap now. Pugsy does have him in the red. The ground pound's not going to quite finish it off. Pugsy again goes for the ground pound. Nice nair will keep him alive. Neutral light. Yep, that'll finish it. Here comes the weapon denial. Pugsy is in the orange. He's got some health to play with, but again, he's on this Jaw, a very low defense character. He's just kind of lucky that Ethan is on the Val, kind of low strength character.
Yeah, they do both have a point in those stats respectively, as far as I'm aware, but yeah, it's a little lucky, and we have seen Pugsy in these situations before really turn the game around, but it does seem Ethan especially has kind of noticed here that if he can get the play a little more off stage, on the wall, so to speak, it does suit him a bit better. And he's playing very, very passively when it comes to the on stage, and then we'll see him get a bit more aggressive in a situation like this, perhaps. But really trying, not to waste his opportunities, not to waste the openings.
Oof.
Coming hella
The
close
spin.
though, Pugsy again with that super high damage.
Weapon thrown away from Ethan. Just outside the axe sider. Pugsy goes for the big play with the gravity cancel side sig, but Ethan underneath, just the small punish with the kick away. Pugsy's still a little bit more damage than Ethan. He's going to need a little bit more to finish off this stock. Ethan just needs the neutral sig, and that is going to be it. 3-2. Ethan closes it out and knocks Pugsy out of the tournament so that Ethan can go up to fight against Simba. But before that, looks like we've got Bumi and Noel hopping into this. This is the winners finals. Winner of this earns their spot in the grand finals in top 2. Just kidding. It's going to be Simba and Ethan.
Classic booby bait, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know. Pugsy, I think just towards the end becomes a little bit too easy to read with that, going for the axe. Like I say, he was kind of unpredictable on the axe itself, but as soon as he is forced into something different, he immediately becomes uncomfortable and just isn't really able to pull it back. But, of course, I think this one's going to be a really interesting one. For me, 2 of the more passive players across the course of the day really like to just look for the openings, look for the punishers. Nothing too flashy, nothing too crazy, just very, very safe plays from them overall. So I think it'll be interesting. Are we actually... Okay, now Noel's joined. Really
I think they're
here.
trying to decide which set. I mean, there's 2 sets that can happen, right? We've got the winners finals, that's Noel and Bumi, and then the losers semifinals, Ethan and Simba. I'm sure Ethan and Simba are kind of like, I'd like a little bit of a break considering Ethan just barely managed to close out that last one. He's like, I need to catch my breath a little bit. Please don't play me right now. But on the other side, Bumi's like, yo, we're not normally supposed to play right now. I don't know. They're trying to figure it out. Just kidding. We're gonna go to a break instead. All of the above. Is this the answer? Not really. We're gonna take a short 5-minute break. When we come back, we've still got the top 4 of things here for the Super Summer Slayem. Stick around because play more Brawlhalla action is gonna be coming at you. Welcome back to the Super Summer Slayem, where we're about to get into the top 4 of things. On the winner's side, we've got Bumi and Noel. On the loser's side, we've got Ethan and Simba waiting for their match. But before that, Scriv, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm kind of surprised across the course of the evening. It's been some really, really close games. Only Bumi getting the 3-0 against Ethan, and then Sandstorm getting knocked out fairly early as well. So it's been a real surprising evening for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely been some upsets. Of course, Sandstorm getting knocked out relatively early was definitely a surprise, but also a lot of very close games, like you said. We'll see if this next one is going to be another close one. It was Noel who knocked Sandstorm into the lower bracket, winning 3-2. Will he be able to do the same against the likes of Bumi? We'll see as we get right on into game number 1, as we get ready. Bumi's been playing the Ada. It's been interesting to see. Of course, he's going to be sticking with the blasters. And then on the other side, Noel, Koji, Asuri, those tend to be his picks. I know he was talking about the Cena, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe saving it for a bit of a later date until he's super clean on it. Is kind of hovering the Koji here.
Mm-hmm.
Seems, raring to go, where Bumi is certainly taking his time. Okay. So a lot of respect being shown here. I think it's similar to Sandstorm pulling out the Mordex when Bumi jumps on that Diana. It's definitely a legend he's had probably the vast majority of his success on, at least in the past kind of 12 months.
Maybe
a little bit longer than that as well.
He has a huge character pool, and he's played so many different characters at high level. But this has kind of been the one, comfort. This is the one that kind of always has been the shining star of Bumi's play. And so it is interesting to see him going back to the Diana for game number 1 against Noel. Wants to match bow for bow against this Koji from Noel.
Yeah, we'll see here how things go. Again, starting off on the Enigma, a map that seems to be, maybe if you want to play a little bit more slowly around the platforms. A lot of people in NA going towards it. Oh, Noel coming in with a number of ground pounds. However, Bumi's able to get back with the chase dodges. So, I think he would have made it anyway, but, super safe. Definitely makes it back with those chase dodges. And able to reset back to a little bit more of the neutral game. But Noel does seem to be kind of controlling things a little bit here. Swaps across to the sword. We'll see if he has the same amount of success. Bumi, actually, though, is able to find the first stock with the downlight into the recovery. So, really hard to call. Again, it's a very, very close start to this first game.
Yeah, Bumi was able to pick up that downlight off that soft platform, so it was a little bit higher up, meaning that it'll knock out just a little bit more early. Noel, though, over to this bow again, going for these neutral sig reads. Bumi's not having it. Bumi basically has to dodge through in order for that to work out, but it's going to be the Tatami mat that gets the stock. There goes the weapon. Delays that weapon spawn just a little bit. And Bumi, apparently just reading the stars, knew it was going to spawn in the sky up there. He was waiting for it.
Yeah, trying to spice things up on this bow as well at the moment. I think he had a lot of success. Again, Diana's kit is so good, as we see. Comes in with the neutral sig off the back of the side light, and that's going to be it. That is going to be it. Noel cannot make it back. So I was going to say, had a lot of success because of that, and integrating those signatures so very well into a lot of combos and throwing some chase dodges in there and things like that. Really looking good when he first became comfortable with this Diana. And I was going to say, maybe people recognizing, those timings and things. But Noel, he gets caught off guard by one and is deep into the red here as well at the moment. So Bumi really turned this around where Noel had started off strong, looked pretty good. Bumi's still in his second stock and he's done so much damage into Noel's final stock. So nobody at the moment seems to be able to get a heavy read on Bumi. Noel has got a potential 4 more games to be able to do so, but at the moment it does look like Bumi is going to be taking this first game fairly decisively.
Yeah, he's looking real comfortable right now.
To catch him.
Just beneath that downlight. Sidelight into side air from Bumi. Takes game 1. He's the only one who's won his set so far today without losing a game. We'll see if he can just kind of maintain that for the rest of the day, because that's what it's looking like right now. Is Noel gonna swap? Is he gonna go over to the Asturian pick? That's what beat out the likes of Sandstorm. Is he gonna go to the John Cena Hattori? Maybe he'll bust out the Jala that we saw him play at low tier Cine.
Yeah, again, does seem to have a few options available where I think Noel for the longest time, known for the Koji, little bit of a branch out into the Asuri for sure. And I think
what?
Now is
yeah, that wasn't on that list.
Stale. This is
no, there was there was like 4 characters on that list. This was not on that list. Noel.
Yeah, this is definitely not what we were expecting, to say the least.
No,
the point
this
of the
is
defense,
surprising.
interestingly enough.
He does. Okay, so he does have the bow, right? We just saw the Koji, so he's gonna have that bow carryover. I don't really know a lot about Noel on blasters. Like, I don't think he really has played a lot of blasters characters. So this is gonna be an interesting pick. Might just see him lean very bow heavy as we get right on into game number 2 in the Diana mirror match.
I've not seen a mirror match in quite some time, to be honest. I think last week there were a few. The Brazilians really like the Sentinel, so surprised that nobody's spiced it up with a bit of a Sentinel pick. But yeah, we'll see here. I mean, Bumi, I feel, is going to have the blasters game really in his favor. The blasters not so hot for Noel. I don't think he's definitely going to be looking more for the bow, at least from what we know. Maybe that's where the surprise factor comes in. Bumi's expecting him to look towards the bow. Oh!
The turnaround from Bumi. Yeah, off screen too. That was in the those like magnifying glasses. That was hard to hit, but Bumi managed to find the positioning for it. Oh my goodness. So many nairs, so much damage being built up. Noel, can he find his way back into this game number 2?
Yeah, that's something I think, blasters, they're really all about building the damage, and Bumi just does it so perfectly, makes it look so seamless. And then that, again, is where the Diana kind of comes in, where in terms of the light attacks and things, there's not a great deal of kill options and super safe kill options, let's say, for the blasters. It does take a while to get like the downlight side air as a full-on way to take someone out of the stock, but the SIGs for Diana just so good, especially on those blasters. Great deal of range. You can really catch someone off guard, and again, synergizes very well with the light attacks of her 2 weapons.
Again, the side air from Bumi puts Noel down to his final stock here in game number 2. Bumi struggling the weapons as he moves over to the wall. Looks like this is the positioning that he wanted. He wanted the safety of the wall, what little safety it provides. Nice.
All right.
Stop the
nice
3 stock.
Noel, to be fair.
But that's kind of what we expected, right? Noel, he has the carryover from the Koji, so we kind of expected him to be a little bit more bow heavy. That's what he used to finish off that stock. But all things considered, Bumi is still looking real strong here.
Yeah, I think he has such a hefty lead, and honestly, it kind of begs the question. Noel, he comes in with this Diana, something a little bit different, try and catch Bumi off guard, just not really going to work out. And then also coming into the early game there, using a lot of the blasters. So really trying to just, I think, mentally throw off Bumi doesn't really work. Still ends with, 2 stock and almost 200 damage more than his opponent. And you can't really say that's down to the stats, because they're playing the same legend.
I mean, technically, Noel was in the defense stat, but that does not help those numbers. If anything, that makes those numbers a little bit worse. Now, I'm curious what Noel's going to go to. Is he going to go to the list of the 4 sword characters? No, he is genuinely sticking with this Diana. As we get right on into game number 3, Bumi versus Noel.
Yeah,
Same map.
I don't know. Definitely out of left field, and yeah, Noel just really taking it to him. I think not about the legend so much, not about the comfort. It is definitely about the matchup, and Noel just needs to find his groove. I think Bumi at the moment is firing on all the cylinders, and it just kind of seems even if Noel was doing the same, Bumi's got a lot more available. His engine's a little bit bigger, and a lot more potential for him to just pop off. The bow reversals coming in. Bumi thankfully touched, unfortunately, the second time around. That ground pound has so much force. And the super small blast zones here on Small Brawlhaven means it's actually a really early first stock picked up by Noel.
Yeah, Noel's got so much health to work with. Just those ground pounds on top of Bumi. We saw those actually happen in game number 1. Just didn't quite have enough to finish off the stock. But it looks like this time on this smaller map ends up getting that finisher. Can he maintain this lead though? Bumi already on the blasters, already getting so much damage.
Trying to come in with the side sig. I think maybe learning his lesson, doing his best to get back on. That is actually a really good combo coming in. The double chase dodge from Bumi to get the recovery, the neutral air to finish it.
He even
feeling
threw
the bows, you feeling the blasters?
bow
Where are you going?
He threw the bow to himself after finishing off that stock. Like, Bumi's just styling right now. He's got the blasters for the damage build up. Noel again on that comfort bow. Gets the 3-piece.
Or Noel getting a bit desperate in places, try and find a sig, a random ground pound out of nowhere when Bumi wasn't massively close to him. Bumi is, of course, because of the fact that he lost that first stock so early, still behind on the HP, but is definitely doing a great job of recovering things back here. Trying to play those blasters off stage. Oh, nice little catch from Noel. Comes in. Oh, okay, and the taunt as well. But yeah,
showing his comfort with blasters.
Got the tech.
Yeah. It's the downline into the recovery. Bumi, again behind. Just all of this based off of that first stock where Noel got those ground pounds. And he's more or less maintained this lead. Bumi's closed it up like a tiny bit, but not enough. Caught the spot dodge. There's the ground pound. He let go of it, and Bumi gets back up onto the stage.
Still looking good for Noel, though. I think once he's moved on to this bow, it definitely looks a lot more confident. You know, and again, it is a part of that. Diana looks really good. The SIGs are fairly easy to understand. I think it's one of those legends where everybody has a bit of a Diana going on. She's fairly safe stats-wise, fairly easy to work around and understand kind of thing. But I think what Noel realized in that game there is like, instead of starting with the blasters, you got to start on the bow. It's your strength. Like, don't get too cheeky with this Diana pick. Just stick to what you know in terms of the weapons.
Yeah, bow is definitely the comfort weapon for Noel. Already getting so much damage built up. Almost catches the ground pound. Bumi looking for the stairs. There's the ground pound again! Noel gets the ground pound. Gonna juggle the weapons, but of course, sticking with the bow.
Yeah, definitely learning his lesson, I think. But looking a little better here. It is still doable for Bumi to clean things up in a 3-1 fashion. But at the very least, Noel has given him a good run for his money and obviously has that chance in the lower bracket. But is still feeling himself. He's really looking good here once he has realized where his strengths lie. Bumi, however, maybe turning it up a notch, I think, might make the difference. Recovery after recovery, trying to get the GC side sig. Not quite going to land it. Bumi makes his way back up off the Nair. Chase dodge and will find that first stock of Noel. But a good extension from Noel for sure.
Yeah, but Bumi was able to close it up. Keep this relatively even. There's the weapon spawn, but Bumi with a falling Nair off the down air. Interesting option. Good movement from Bumi.
True. It is kind of interesting to see how this one is developing. Bumi is pulling things back. Like I say, the pressure is a little bit on him. He is being tested and kind of answering the call. The double stare coming in. Noel is really in Bumi's court at the moment. Great catch as well on that recovery. Bumi knowing the timings perfectly. Trying to find the weapon toss. Not quite going to land. Noel smacking him out, keeping him away from the weapons for now. Avoiding the downlight, however, will eventually get it into that true combo, of course. Bumi, though, is also within the realms of finishing it. 2 recoveries as they are so inches away, millimeters away from each other. Not quite sure how Bumi didn't end up landing it, and Noel, he gets one, but it clips him. He's not able to fully follow through, and Bumi, that's beautiful. The GC downlight into the recovery to take out Noel and gain a slight advantage here going into what could be the final game.
Sidelight down air coming out from Bumi. Trying to widen this gap. Oh, the spot dodge, and then ends up going into the side signature. Noel able to even up the stocks, and of course he's going to be sticking with that bow.
Only in the yellow as well. However, Bumi, almost getting the read, not quite. Tossing the bow away, though, not quite fancying it as much. The blaster's looking much better for him. Noel trying to get the dodge read in, not quite going to happen. Bumi this time jumps away. Comes in with the recovery.
Oh,
Is that gonna be enough? Oh, no, you got to win if you're going to taunt Bumi. You got to win. It's going to be real awkward if he doesn't, but he does eventually get it. Oh.
3-1, Bumi wins it out over Noel. That means he is going to earn his spot in the grand finals, guaranteed top 2. That means it's going to be Ethan and Simba coming up next.
Yeah, a bit of a tough one for Noel for sure, but I think ultimately, you know, Bumi is just looking a level above everybody else here tonight, for sure. Noel kind of coming in with the cheese pit, but it's similar to Pugsy, where he can only really use the bow. His blaster's definitely not as comfortable, so it does make the sort of mind read game a bit easier for Bumi. But yeah, I think this one's going to be a real interesting one. Ethan now fancying the Diana, apparently.
I guess it's become a Diana only tournament. I'm sorry, I missed that memo. I didn't realize top 4 was all Dianas. I will reframe all of my phrases from now on, but it's going to be Simba on the least Diana-y of the Dianas, the John Cena Diana. And it's going to be Ethan over to the closest thing he's got to a Bumi Diana. But he's going in with the speed. It's interesting the way that these 3 players are picking the same character and very different stat focuses, right? Like Noel wants the defense, Bumi wants just the base stat line, and then Ethan's like, I like my movement speed, I like my Hattori, I like my Val.
Right, so it makes it feel a little more comfortable for him. Diana, again, because she's just so sort of middle ground in terms of the stats at the very least. Like, it doesn't harm you very much at all. So, fair enough if you want to go for something a bit different. We'll see, though. Simba kind of realizes that he maybe has the control here, and it's definitely showing that early. As, nice little catch coming through. And you'll find that first stock fairly early on, only in the yellow here. So, I'm not sure whether Ethan sticks with this pick, that's for sure.
Yeah, we'll see if he regains some momentum, or maybe he was just doing this for game 1. Maybe he'll switch it up. But Simba just going off stage, just chasing after Ethan. He knows that Ethan is on a little bit of an off pick, and he's going to take full advantage of it.
Simba, though, still looking really good. He has this ability at times to just go completely untouched, and it seems that is what is happening. Ethan going to get smacked straight down. Simba comes in with the taunt, and I mean, rightly so, right? He's looking really good, and yeah, the 3-stock definitely on the cards. Just clipped at the end of the side like that. I don't think was quite expecting that to hit, but it did. Will come through, though. Just getting bits of damage here and there. Downlight into the side air, and the recovery to follow up afterwards. Nice little prediction as well as he dashes into the side sig so the hitboxes don't quite land. Ethan, is he going to deny the 3-stock at the very least? It's looking more and more likely, but tough to call. Good dodge coming through, and there you go. The bounce into the side air. Ethan denies the 3-stock, but I think the game itself is going to be really difficult for him.
Saying that, but Simba's struggling a little bit to find that finishing blow. He's backing up. He's got so much health to work with, though. Like, at this point, really just a signature would be enough. He's just got to be careful he doesn't overdo it reaching for the signature.
Oh, Simba. Okay. Actually, we haven't seen that dancing on the jump scene. That looks really cool, actually. To be
Goes
fair.
for it again. He's just trying to show it off. You can't see me.
Oh.
Can he finish the stock, though? Third one.
Oh,
that'll do it. Simba takes game number 1. Just trying to show off that signature just a little bit. Not sure if Ethan changed up the pick, though. Going right back into this? No. Ethan says, wait, go back. I don't like this character.
Yeah, he gets a little dominated there, honestly. I don't know. It kind of is good that he doesn't get totally rinsed, but you could just see from the damage as well. Pretty much double the damage coming in from Simba.
He doesn't care. He's sticking with it. He's like, I was the wrong color. Yeah, I need to be more Bumi with my colors. That was the problem. gonna go right on into game number 2. Simba, he's not having it. He's like, I don't care what you have going on with your Diana picks. I am gonna win this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Ethan is suddenly coming in with this. The Val started to work for him. Had that Hattori available as well in the set against Bumi. Pulled it out. It started to look a little cleaner from him. I'm not quite sure. Maybe trying to force the issue a little bit with this Diana. There's no real crossover in terms of the weapons either. So it's definitely a strange one. We'll see. He gets an early catch. Not quite able to capitalize off it, but has the damage lead for sure.
All right, side light goes for side sigs. Looks like he's got a lot of signature reads coming out with his Diana. Meanwhile, Simba, he's just playing standard.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of that with the Diana, to be fair, where you can get those signature reads. Again, just because they're so versatile and cover that very basic, side sig, 100%, covers a good area towards the side, the neutrals as well, just straight up. There's not a lot of crazy hitboxes or anything like that. It's really simple stuff. That seems to be what Ethan is sort of trying to cheese out here a little bit. I think Simba almost getting the catch, not quite able to. The ground pound, however, pretty hard to dodge if they get it above you and catch you in some recovery frames. Can end up getting taken down pretty quickly. But we'll see. Ethan in with a chance to even the stock up pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a lot better here in game number 2 than he did in game number 1. Has some decent damage built up on the Simba. Could see him getting this stock. Like a downlight recovery off of one of the platforms would be enough. Maybe a raw recovery. Yep, that does it. Ooh, just
coming in with a
didn't
bit of
get
damage
it.
as well. It didn't quite catch. Again, knows what he has to do. It's just kind of that muscle memory is not 100% clean, where Simba is just looking a little more comfortable, I think. Ethan, though, looking good, but, just comes in there, doesn't quite understand where it's going to send Simba. The GC into the downlight that's sort of nowhere near, gets ground pounded here. Able to make it back up. Oh, but Simba, that's pretty damn clean. The side air comes in, he bounces off the island and then ground pounds him down. Fantastic stuff in the unarmed, and a quick end to that stock, to be fair. Ethan was, in the red, I think, but all the same, had the opportunity to survive and maybe reset, but no, denied completely by Simba.
There's the recovery from Ethan, though. He's looking a little bit more alive here in this this matchup on Twilight against Simba. He is not finding any hits, though, onto Simba's final stock. He's dancing around a little bit, but Simba's getting the hits, gets the downlight side air. The weapon toss actually caught Ethan's feet. Simba, again, kind of playing with his food. Threw away the weapon, just did not even want it. Was going to go for the unarmed disco, but didn't find it. Recovery? Is that enough? No, not enough.
Ethan's really playing with fire here a little bit and getting quite lucky in a sense as well, to be fair. Oh, ground pound coming in. Simba, you got to be careful. Is that it? That's actually it.
Got it.
His recovery, I guess. He must have cancelled it.
Yeah. Got stuffed.
Right.
And that means that Ethan actually wins out in game number 2 in the offstage. Looks like weapons don't matter when you win in the unarmed offstage. And that means we're at 1 apiece.
Either way, it'll be interesting to see whether Ethan sticks to it. I think definitely a little lucky towards the end there. I think Simba, like you were saying, playing with his food a bit, maybe, I don't want to say cocky, but like complacent, not quite respecting that actually Ethan could get back into it, could turn things on its head, and not closing the game out quite fast enough, but still fairly confident, straight back onto the Satori. Wait and see what Ethan's going to be going for. Back to the Diana. So maybe, I'm not quite catching the chat, maybe a break to the toilet. I don't know. But all the same.
Apparently it's very difficult for them to get into this. All right, there we go. Wait, nope, just kidding. Didn't like those maps. One more time. We're gonna get it. All right, 3 maps left. What is it gonna be coming up from Ethan? Small Enigma.
Okay, so again, the platform's coming into play. It does seem to be like we're not seeing a great deal of variety, rather, in terms of the map picks, which is fair enough. Generally, the way that it goes, but nobody wanting to see. I think that was like the first Twilight Grow that we'd seen all evening. To be fair,
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really looking to play on the more conventional maps. Ethan especially. Simba back with a vengeance though. This one I'm looking pretty good as he gets quite a bit of damage in before picking a weapon up onto the sword, which I think for me is looked a little cleaner. Ethan throws away his bow. Simba does the same with his sword, and now it's Simba left without a weapon briefly. But like I say, this unarmed is not looking too bad from him. Really picking things up here as we come into game number 3, and maybe feeling a little angry with himself that he let that second game get away from him. Oh, Ethan is able to just survive a little longer. Simba, though, definitely within kill potential here.
How is Simba going to finish off this stock of Ethan, though? He's got so much damage built up. Goes for a gravity cancel downlight. It's not the recovery, though. Not quite enough damage. The Nair is going to clash out, so still not enough to finish off the stock. Finally, the side air from Simba will do it. Juggle the weapons. Delay the respawn. It's going to be the spear play coming out from Simba now.
Yeah, the longer he can extend the stock, the better it gets, really. Nice bit of movement for him to get the double D light into the side air. They're even in terms of the damage. The ground pound, though, is going to be enough, even in the orange. The force of that bow ground pound. Really got to watch out for it and just kind of catching him as he touches the wall. But I think Simba still within the realms as he gets his hand onto the sword, and a beautiful dodge read just sticking to Ethan like glue. Weapon toss coming in as he tries to finish him off here.
Nice.
Oh, nice stuff from Simba as well as he baits out the jump back. GC into the side sig is fantastic.
It's a full stock lead for Simba right now. Even more as he gets the damage built up onto Ethan. Falling side air into the neutral light. Quick taps of damage. Here comes the spear play. Saw the dodge down. Got the double down light. Goes for the recovery as that's the closer kill box. So much damage coming out from Simba. He is fired up after that loss in game number 2.
Yeah, definitely. Looking really, really good here. Completely revitalized. Not shaken. You know, he uses his mistakes to his benefit. Not letting his mental break. So, really good stuff. And if the fourth game is to go like this, probably going to be Simba finishing things and moving across into that losers final. Of course, the winner of this game will be facing off against Noel for a chance of playing in the grand finals. And there you go, the GC into the side sig, as if to sum it up. I mean, really good stuff in terms of the signature uses, I think, from Simba there, which is something that we've not seen as much from him. Definitely been just sticking to the general kit of the spear particularly. Really picking it up with the SIGs in that past game.
Now we're seeing finally Ethan forced off of the Diana. He is going to be switching over to the Hattori, but doesn't have the John Cena. So it's John Cena versus just a Hattori. Same stats, though. And here we go. We're going to go right on into game number 4. Hattori versus Hattori. Simba versus Ethan. Who's going to get that spawn weapon? No, Simba goes for the unarmed.
Yeah, the thing as well, you know, back onto the Mammoth Fortress. That easy middle ground, the mirror matchup. We'll see Ethan pulling out his comfort pick, but something that honestly he's not played for a while in the grand scheme of things. And again, you know, no crossover on the weapon, so might not be as warm as Simba, who has just played this all evening non-stop. He's looking, I don't know, fairly even actually. I want to say all the spot dodge at the same time. It will be Ethan coming out a little bit, but the GC neutral SIG seems to be enough to even up the damage just for a second. Simba tosses his weapon though. has left it at somewhat of a disadvantage, but has done so well across the course of the evening of picking up that spear and just immediately starting and opening up into a string, not leaving you any time at all to breathe once he picks up that spear particularly.
Yeah, it looks like in terms of this matchup, in the double Hattori, it seems like Simba's going to favor that spear play, whereas Ethan will likely favor the sword play. Right now, they're both on the opposite of those weapons, but you're also seeing them both struggle to get that finishing blow.
It definitely seems to be the case. Both players a little greedy for it. Recovery comes in, but Ethan is not quite damaged enough to get taken down that far below the skybox. Oh, nice stuff from Simba, though. To bait out the dodge. It's a fairly easy set in as well. Preferring the sword, it seems. Oh, it goes down pretty quickly. So no stock extension coming through from him.
Perfectly even.
All even.
Ethan going real high. No damage on either one. Second stock. Finally, Simba is the one to get the hit with that spear play. The neutralites, the pokes coming out from Ethan. Has the weapon advantage. Going to keep Simba at bay.
Ooh. Trying to find a quick end to this stock. Not going to happen as Ethan actually dishes out a lot of damage. Catches him as well with that downlight. And that's going to be it as Simba mind-gamed out of his second stock. Not like Ethan had really forced him away. I think there was definitely an opportunity for him to just fall back into the wall, but let's say, kind of his own worst enemy. Trying to get that very snazzy that we saw earlier, the GC downlight immediately off the bat, instead of just going for the grounded downlight after the side light. Does seem though Ethan moving across to the Hattori, things have looked a lot better for him as his kind of tournament life on the line. He's not taking any more chances. He moves back onto that safe pick.
Ground pound connection from Simba though. We'll put him down to final stocks. If Simba gets this stock, that means he is going to go on to fight Noel. But if Ethan gets the stock, then we're going to go to a game 5. Another 3 stocks on each player. Weapon denial. Swords in hand, Simba. He's got so many fire hydrants to choose from.
Oh, Ethan really needs to think about, similar to Simba in that second game, think about cleaning it up because Simba is starting to pick up momentum. He will keep coming through with these downlights into the recoveries, into the side lights, weapon tosses, followed up by weapon tosses. Not quite able to take him out just yet with the downlight recovery, but getting close. And Ethan, again, this curse that Simba, or well, I suppose the blessing for Simba, that every now and then he just seems to be untouchable. That definitely looks like it is the case. I think a weapon toss and a neutral light coming in the unarmed. But apart from that, it's been all about Simba for quite some time here, looking to try and clean things up. Ethan also trying to play it safe, but having to get a weapon.
Nice.
Eventually, great dodge coming in, but that's not going to kill Simba. It's given another chance at life.
Almost did it though. Another one could be enough. Downlight into the recovery. Ethan puts it into game number 5. The swap to the Hattori working out for him. And likely will be what he's playing for the rest of this set as Simba goes into the ban phase.
Yeah, I would have thought so. It's a real change of pace when, you know, you go from playing something you're not so confident in and looking to sort of cheese your way through, particularly, you know, with the SIG play of that Diana, and then you move on to something really comfortable. Simba has to prepare for this very quick, very aggressive, very confident style. And I mean, you seem to towards the end, but I think it was a bit too far gone. The pressure really stacking up towards the end, and it's just not good enough from Simba in the end to pick it up. So Ethan once again coming in pretty aggressive here into the final game of the set, regardless, and looking real good across the board from both of them, honestly, as the damage is so very even.
Some clean unarmed play coming out from Simba. Now we've got the sword and mirror match weapon toss to open up, neutral light to add the damage. Ethan gets underneath though, gets that recovery. He's got that slight damage advantage over Simba.
Ooh. Side air to keep him away. The haymaker doesn't quite make it. Simba able to survive longer, though, as nothing seems to be killing at the moment. Another recovery lands from Simba. Doesn't end it. The down light coming in, something a bit different, trying to send him the other way. Doesn't finish him off. So both players here really getting lucky in the sense that they're able to survive a bit longer than perhaps they should have, but eventually the haymaker lands as the recovery frames on that ground pound for the spear definitely easily punishable from Ethan.
Yeah, definitely punishable if it lands on stage, and Ethan took full advantage of it. Over to the left side, Simba gets the downlight side air, even up the stocks. This is going to be a close one. Looks like as we get into the second stock, Simba wants the sword, wants to keep this juggle, and he actually manages to make it work.
Weapon denial as well coming through from Simba. Not quite. He's keeping it there. Also only 2 weapons available on stage at any one point, I think, whether they're picked up or dropped. So no more drops going to come in. He's kind of able to dictate the pace. And it kind of works out for a little bit of time, but Ethan gets his hands onto the sword eventually. Seems to pick it straight back up, and Simba is really playing with fire as he goes into the red. Ethan not far behind, though.
He's over to the right side island. Ethan tries to find a hit. He's just going to maintain this position. Yep, the down air. And Ethan looking real strong to close this out and win over Simba. Recovery from underneath.
The damnedest.
Yeah.
It's really difficult, though. I think Simba's still within the realms. If you can get this second stock off of Ethan quickly, then it is definitely doable here, but I don't know. Ethan kind of knows that. He's looking for the openings himself to just extend the stock and do a bit more damage before he loses the second one. Oh, and there it is, the unarmed coming through, denying the weapon at least for now, actually keeping the chase up instead of going for the weapon. That might work out for him. The unarmed Simba suddenly, is falling flat, is unable to deal with it. And Ethan really doing the damage, able to survive a bit longer as well. Very lucky indeed. He's not super deep into the red. So suddenly things become a hell of a lot more difficult for Simba because Ethan is given another chance to stack the damage up.
Simba's struggling to finish this stock off of Ethan. The spawn on the left side. Simba wants the weapon pickup. There's the pickup. Ethan denies it.
It's just so... the in-sync D-lights, opposite directions. But yeah, it's just so much slower than the rest of the set has been. As neither player wants to make a mistake. Ethan, although he's a stock up, kind of realizes Simba still has the potential, still has the room to get back in. Simba completely happy to just wait for that wall slip to build up so that Ethan is forced back on, not taking any risks. Avoids the ground pound for now. Simba trying to bait out a dodge somewhere, trying to catch off a little bit of aggression, but damage still stacking up. Ethan has yet to lose his second stock.
Oh, off the wall. Simba's struggling to finish the stock. The down sig does it. And Ethan will earn his spot in the top 3 to fight against Noel.
Yeah, maybe a little surprising to say. He came into the day not looking super strong. Obviously, Bumi a bit of a tough matchup for him overall, but dominated by Bumi. Super, super strong showing from Bumi, not to take away from, what he was doing, but Ethan, it just didn't quite seem to be working, a little bit uncomfortable on the Val. Then he comes into this set, plays Diana randomly, and it doesn't really work. I think he won one game, but then wasn't really feeling it, and swaps across to the Hattori, suddenly turns it around, and he's the stronger force across the final 3 games to pick things up in the end. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll probably just see him on the Hattori for the vast majority.
Yeah. I was curious if he'd go back to the Val, which was kind of like his start for most of the sets. But it looks like it's just Hattori time. He knows how well he played with that Hattori, and he wants to keep that going. On the other side, Noel, interestingly enough, is going to be going back to the Asuri. The Koji was purely to fight against Bumi, as well as the Diana, of course.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. Also hovered big man Dwayne, the Sentinel. But I think that would definitely be a little bit out of left field.
I mean, he has Katars.
Slow. Yeah. But it's kind of like a bit of a slower Katars legend, I feel. Oh, man.
Nice
looking
start
real
from
good.
Ethan. Yeah, it's a great start, but
really hot.
Noel getting some good punish. I like the ground pound decision there. Could have gone for like some normal string startups, but the ground pound just, in terms of raw damage, has the advantage. So he just went up high, did the ground pound on top. You're seeing him with that damage advantage over Ethan. Down sig, not quite enough, but he's chasing so deep for it. Didn't see the opportunity, didn't get the stock.
Still brought really close here, though, which after the opener, you would have thought Noel might fall. Oh my goodness, interrupts the side sig from Ethan and the down air, to finish things off. Noel really turning that stock around and now has quite a hefty lead, actually, as he's only just gone into the red here. You know, might debate, we could talk about it for hours, maybe it was still a bit orange, but all the same, looking good. Ethan, though, is trying to find this first stock quickly without taking too much damage, but takes
three recoveries, four recoveries into a gravity cancel down sig. Ethan almost had it even, but after that...
Yeah. Sent him off stage and just completely caught off guard by Noel's aggression there with the recoveries, particularly. Oh my goodness.
That is going to be it, Noel. One stock left to take game one. So much health to play with for Noel. Ethan, what's he got? Can he get the stock off of Noel? Can he deny the 3 stock? The dunk down goes for a second one. The dare punish. Yep.
Yeah, I think definitely punishable on that second one. Noel kind of knew it, but you know, you've got to go for those highlight plays when the opportunity arises.
You got to make the reel.
Yeah, definitely. Would have been a real spicy one if he was able to get it. Ethan keeping him away with the dares. Not quite able to spike him down just yet, as he is only just into the yellow. Looking really good here for Noel. Trying to finish it off with something a bit spicy for sure.
That was a read. Ethan gonna stand in place. He has this range advantage. Surprised he's not trying to push it just a little bit towards Noel. There you see him. 2 neutralites into Noel's face.
Yeah, the weapon denial now from Noel as well, which is probably going to make the difference here. Playing the old classic, just sort of stand still, wait for Ethan to make a mistake, sends him off, trying to fully seal the deal. Not quite able to land that GC neutral, but it is damn near enough. Again, waiting for the wall slip, perfectly happy to just catch him off the neutral. Again, not going to finish, but it's getting very close, and there it is. The dare as he touches the wall because he has to. Will be the first game going relatively dominantly in Noel's favor.
Yeah, there weren't really a lot of moments where Ethan looked like he was in control. Like, he started it off pretty strongly, but once Noel kind of regained his footing, he was looking real strong there. And we're going to get right on into game number 2. No character swaps on either side. Asuri and Hattori.
3, 2, 1.
We are, however, going to see the Black Guard keep. So I think this is the first time of the evening as well. So this is maybe the slight change, that moving platform. There's a lot more room on this map for Ethan to run away, stay safe, reset back to the neutral, get a breather, you know. The rotations under the map as well, relatively simple, so maybe part of the choice, but then obviously it was Noel who finally locked this map in, so maybe he's feeling it as well. All the same, I feel like Noel is just looking super dominant. Onto the Katars, we saw him focus a little more on the sword in the first game, wanting to warm up his Katars, and he is looking good. Side 6 actually sends Ethan out there really early on in the first sort of 30 seconds of this second game. I think Noel's feeling that he's going to get to the grand final and he wants both his weapons to be warm.
Yeah, Noel's looking real confident right now. He's Getting the hits onto Ethan. Not able to get the follow-up off the downlight into that recovery, though. Flash out. Could be troublesome, but Noel fights his way back. That recovery shoves Ethan away. A nice pogo into the side air.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. But I don't know whether it's going to make a massive difference. Noel's still looking super dominant. Especially if he's able to take this. Brilliant dodge reads. Not quite going to finish Ethan off, but damn near enough. Yep. Ethan going to get punished for that as well. That's a bit unfortunate. I mean, kind of makes sense. You've got to go for this sort of desperate plays, but again, just not looking cool, calm, and collected. It did seem like a little bit of a last-second decision, panicked to go for that, and ends up getting punished for it massively as well. Ethan bopping his head. Don't do it like that. Let's get back, though.
Yeah. He's going to maintain that positioning. Waves Noel goodbye.
Whoa.
But Noel's still got 2 more stocks behind that one.
All right.
Just taunting away the 3 stock.
Yeah, I think so. But Noel, yeah, like you say, still got a lot of room to work with. Ethan definitely coming alive here. And hopefully see him pick it up a bit more into the 3rd game, but still ultimately being controlled. Oh my goodness, Noel, that's so clean. 3 in a row. And yeah, take a bow for sure. A brilliant way to finish it.
That puts Noel up 2-0 over Ethan. 1 more game left. Ethan with the adjust going to be swapping to the Mirage, bringing out the Scythe. This is another pick that Ethan has. Like, it's one of the picks that you would have expected, but considering it looks like he's kind of shying away from Scythe in this tournament, it is a little bit interesting to see him busting out, but it looks like he's feeling his spear, wants to bring out the Scythe, so he's going over to this Mirage to go up against Noel.
Definitely something a bit different. Not seen it from him across the course of the evening. High damage, really good signatures, and obviously got that spear carryover. So we'll see here. There's definitely a little bit more even, as Noel giving Ethan a bit more respect. Goodness me, actually looking really good here on the side. 2 ground pounds to follow up, and a very quick first stock picked up by Ethan.
Yeah, the big offstage coming out from Ethan's Scythe. And he is just pushing this lead further and further into the weapon toss for just that extra tap of damage.
Yeah, we'll see here. Noel trying to even the stocks up as quickly as possible. Throw Ethan for a loop. A little bit of a string coming through. That active input on the downlight going to kick him across. That's going to be enough as well, of course. Shipwreck falls, not enough resources to get back. It's always, you know, a little bit of a bait map to play on for sure. You feel like you're going to make it back because you've got everything available and you didn't get blasted straight out, but then you remember you're right on the edge of the blast zones for sure. And you're like, well, guess I'll die.
Oh, but a nice pickup from Ethan, though. Maybe trying to put that thought into Noel's head. Noel on this left side. Not going to get caught by that down signature. Oop, second one, though. And Ethan, again, with this big lead, that Scythe to start it off. Got him the Gimp, got him that lead, and he's just been maintaining it here in game number 3.
Yeah, definitely, you know, got to give him the respect, the credit where credit is due, that he can definitely work with the advantage. Ooh, Noel, it was pretty good weight from him. Unfortunately, not quite able to punish. Part of the difficulty of the Mirage, again, she is somewhat difficult to punish in places. He managed to make it back up, but into the red here, and actually looking really good for Ethan. At the very least, keeping his tournament life alive. But still, Noel, you know, he's got 2 more games at the very least to clean this one up in, so we'll see.
And he swaps to the Koji,
well.
yeah. Koji versus the Mirage. We'll see if the bow has the better matchup against the Scythe plays coming out from Ethan, because that's what started it off. We're going to get right on into this next one. Game number 4. Ethan has to win the next 2 in a row in order to go back into the grand finals to challenge Bumi. Otherwise, Noel's going to win it out and go into the grand finals.
right, we'll see, especially this bow change, which we saw against Bumi. Kind of had a little bit of success with it. See whether it makes a difference. Ethan coming through with the ground pounds, not quite able to finish it off this time around and get the early gimp, but damage being kept even. God damn it. And Ethan is definitely proving himself a little bit more here as we get into the last stages of the losers finals. So fighting back a bit more. It was very dominant opening. So this switch has definitely been working out for Ethan. Really good catches, and yeah, see you later. The weapon toss to finish it off.
Ethan with the fantastic scythe off stage, and then he decides to go back to the spear. He just uses the scythe for that initial lead, and then the spear is what he uses to maintain it. Well, again, going for the side light into the side signature read. Ethan's just not having it. Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness.
Is this going to be the 3-stock coming out from Ethan? This Mirage pick, something he hasn't played all day, just working so well against Noel.
Yeah, really catching him off. Again, that spear, the carryover, the comfort that Ethan has, and then it's like the surprise of the scythe, let's say. Ethan looking really good. Noel so very close, trying to avoid all hits possible. Looking good for Ethan's 3-stock, though. Is Noel going to take a haymaker, smack down into the red?
Oh, that's a
in.
3-stock.
Momentum on that neutral sig is enough. Completely catching Noel off guard. Did not know how to react. And the 3-stock coming in, I mean, whew, might just turn the series around.
Yeah, that's a big momentum swing for Ethan. Noel back to the Asuri. Game number 5, staying on Shipwreck. As Noel figured it out, was the Koji kind of a palate cleanser for him to get right on into game number 5, where it's Ethan going to be going up into the grand finals to fight Bumi, the person who 3-0'd him to send him down into the loser's bracket.
Well, let's see. Can Noel come back? But once again on the Shipwreck Falls, where Ethan has found so much success, opens up super well with that spear. I guess the difference really from the Hattori is Mirage, a lot more damage, and again, able to catch Noel off guard, who at the moment has not returned a great deal of damage. I think has hit Ethan once, is pretty far into the red here. Looking likely that Ethan's going to find the first stock early, unless Noel can pull it back on these guitars. Does a bit of damage, takes 2 recoveries, however, and Ethan will get a very early first stock in his favor.
This is a huge lead for Ethan, bigger than the lead that he had in the last 2 games he just won. I have no idea how Noel is going to get back into this one, as Ethan, he keeps hitting these downlights, just punishing Noel for these air approaches.
Oh, Ethan, again, just managing to get in. Find bits of damage. That spear, into at least this matchup, into the swords and the guitars. Does have the range advantage, can kind of keep you at arm's length, trying to finish it off. With the neutral sig, not quite able to do so, but it's looking hella close. Side air, not going to take him out, but the pogo will. Big enough spike that he falls all the way down, and it will maybe be another 3-stock on the cards. I'm not so sure about this one this time around, because he is quite deep into the red here, but you never know. That Mirage, again, has the power to turn things around. Noel trying to fight back, trying to find the Nares, is so very low for it.
Nice.
That'll be enough with the weapon toss. Alright, so there's at least that. He doesn't get 3-stock twice in a row, but still, the ball is definitely in Ethan's court right now.
Ethan goes in, gets the unarmed neutral line on Noel, just a little tap of damage. Every hit that he gets on a Noel is 1 step closer to that grand finals match against Bumi. Neutral signature.
Yeah, Noel really just trying to find the gimp, I think, by playing off the edge. Goes for the GC into the neutral sig, not going to land. Ethan with the good spacing, keeping away. Down sig comes through, doesn't actually send Noel that far. Will that be enough? Not quite.
The pogo.
The pogo. I think he did
Another
touch,
one.
but it's just going to give the control to Ethan, and this time it'll be enough. The facepalm comes in. Yeah, that Mirage pick, man. Turning it around.
Ethan earns his spot in the grand finals to go up against Bumi, can he get the salty run back? He's got to win 2 sets in a row. That means a total of 6 games, 3 in the first set. That'll reset it, send Bumi down in the loser's bracket, and then another 3 games in order to win the Super Summer Slayem. Otherwise, Bumi is going to be the champion of the Super Summer Slayem. We're going to find out how that shakes out in just a little bit. I think Ethan is going to El Baño. That's the bathroom for you non-Spanish speakers.
Fair enough. Once again, educational. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, you gotta learn. You gotta bring in some terms.
For sure. Helps me definitely. I mean, like, you know, Spanish is not a language I interact with very often. Lucky in the sense that, like, literally everybody speaks English in Europe for the most part. So
it's fair enough. Nice. Yeah, I don't interact with a lot of Spanish speakers on my regular day to day, but it's fun to know some other languages, right? Get some fun phrases you gotta throw in there.
Spice things up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This has been a really interesting evening, you know, across the course. Some really exciting series in there. Hopefully this set, the grand final, brings an equal amount of excitement. But Bumi, in the same strain, would be kind of, you know, cool to see him just clean up here because although, again, it is kind of, you know, the online realms and the pressure definitely not on as heavy. Everybody's a bit more relaxed and things. But he's looked really dominant up against, you know, in terms of the power rankings, definitely the better players. We're only kind of missing, like, Cody Travis and maybe a couple others here in this top 8. And I didn't quite catch yesterday, so I'm not sure if they entered at all. But all the same, Bumi's just looking super dominant. Going to be pulling out the Rayman, though.
Very interesting.
We'll see. Is this maybe a little disrespectful? Okay, yeah. So Cody Travis and everyone. Isidru actually got DQ'd. That's interesting.
You know, things happen.
But yeah, so it's everyone's been entered in this one for sure. So Bumi has had a real good showing, definitely.
But it looks like Bumi going to be coming in with the Rayman for game number 1 in grand finals against Ethan, who's changed it up. He's over to the Mirage. See what Bumi has. I know he's got an axe. I know he's got gauntlets, but do we know that he's got this Rayman? Oh, goes for the immediate gravity cancel down signature. Almost connected on top of Ethan, too. That would have been scary.
Definitely would have been. Ethan opened up well. Bumi on the axe has recovered it back. Apocalypse, I think we're going to see it develop as a really good axe map, especially with that positioning of the platform and the way that it just moves across the top like a mammoth fortress, but you don't have to deal with it being out of the side. It's also a much more close range map overall. Bumi going to find the first stock with the side sig coming through. Ethan denied a weapon at least for a hot second here. We'll see. He does manage to get his hands onto the side, but Bumi, after that kind of initial string looking really strong, Bumi has respected it and has really come back with a vengeance. Got to be careful here. He is low on resources, but does manage to get back on and really extending this stock perfectly.
He's just hitting Ethan. Ethan barely gets over the corner with that ground pound, which will finish off the stock. Gonna throw away the weapon. Wants to stick with the scythe. Yeah, I kind of expected the scythe. It has the better matchup against axe, and then it has the range advantage over gauntlets. I've yet to see what Bumi's got with the axe kit on this Rayman,
though. Ethan just spot dodging. Predictable. It's being kept off here. Oh, the down sig not quite going to land. The neutral of Rayman. I mean, it sounds good, but it is a real difficult one to hit. At least in the ones. Oh, Bumi though going to catch with the dare. That'll be enough as well. Ethan.
That was
a little bit too damaged. Yeah, it's a great pickup coming in from Bumi.
There's so many times where you see that down air bounce off the wall, go into the immediate ground pound, and it can hit true, but Bumi recognized that time that it wasn't. Dodged just enough to the side to avoid the ground pound, and then punish with a down air from above. Bumi just taking the lead and maintaining it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you see it, you're kind of like, oh, he's just waiting or, you know, playing it safe, but it is definitely the calculation where it's like, right, I could take this risk, but it wouldn't pay off as much as playing it safe. So really, really good, just sort of min-maxing, I suppose, from Bumi in a sense. And looking good for him here as well. Again, every single stock, he's extended at least into the orange, tries to get back in with the neutral sig, not going to work though. The speed of that scythe ground pound. too much. But I think the damage done here should be good enough from Bumi if he can clean this one up. He is onto the gauntlets, which we've not seen him use at all, and not sure whether he's fancying it, just sort of lobbing them across, trying to end things with a signature. Ethan does well to react there. Not taken out by the side sig. Going to be onto the axe, though, and surely the cleanup comes in here for Bumi.
Goes for the down sig again. For all the signatures that Bumi's thrown out, it's only been that one side signature that's really amounted to much. Here comes all the gauntlet signatures, but Ethan taking advantage of the fact that he's struggling to find this signature to finish.
Yeah, he really is, and kind of getting a bit greedy for it. Eventually finds it with the side air there on the axe. Definitely does need to watch himself that he's not getting overzealous with those sigs. You don't just have to end it with a sig. But yeah, none of the gauntlet signatures seem to hit at all. So that's I think a glaring weakness in this Rayman for Bumi is the gauntlets.
Well, we'll see if he decides to bring out more from his gauntlet play. I mean, we've seen his gauntlets do very well for themselves with his Petra in competitive. But yet to see what he's got with the Rayman again with the gauntlets. He's definitely got a strong axe game, though, which is interesting because, like I said, it doesn't do great against Scythe, and it goes about even against Spear. So, in theory, Ethan has the matchup advantage, but Bumi, just such a strong player, doesn't care about that matchup.
So we'll see. Okay, so it is going to be the small Brawlhalla. I was just kind of waiting, didn't quite catch what ban it was, or what pick it was in the end, but relatively similar. I feel like it's just sort of Apocalypse, but without the platform. It removes the platform, has slightly longer walls to play with, and I guess the blast zones as well. It's just a really tight map overall here, small Brawlhalla. Real brawl map, if you'll kind of pardon the pun, but you know, all about the fighting, all about the scrapping. It's definitely when you're 1v1 your friends, this is the map that you come to because there's no escape from anything here. And coming into this one, Bumi once again looking really, really strong. Opens up with the gauntlets, side sig almost landing, but not quite. He is showing he does have the gauntlets available as well, as he's, you know, got a bit of breathing room. He moves on to the less comfortable gauntlets, I think, but still, and finally lands a side sig. We'll see. Ethan's a lot closer this time around, I think.
You know, they say miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Bumi is taking as many opportunities as he can to get that side signature. Does finally do it, and so he's not going to worry about using those gauntlets anymore. Almost went into that neutral signature, but it's going to be the neutral signature from Bumi to finish off the stock. Is he going to be sticking with the axe? We'll find out as he juggles. And yep, sticks with the axe.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely realizes that Ethan has got the potential to come into this. You know, we'll have been watching a little bit earlier on how he got the run back against Noel. Definitely giving him the respect here, which is good to see. And again, you know, we could be looking at a very long series. The grand finals, of course, with Ethan coming from the lower bracket, he has to reset Bumi, or bring Bumi, I suppose, into that lower bracket to make things all even. So I think Bumi wants to clean things up, not give Ethan any momentum at all, and walk away with a really, really, really clean showing this weekend. That is a fantastic catch. He spins around, GCs into the down sig. It eventually works. He'd been going for it for a while. Ethan had no option but to move into it, and Bumi actually making the Rayman work really, really well for him and incorporating the SIGs pretty cleanly as well, at least on the axe.
He is showing the power of the Rayman. The axe play coming out from Bumi is so incredibly strong. Sidelight, nair. Goes for a second nair, but Ethan was spot dodging inside of it. You're seeing Bumi change up his follow-ups off that first nair. Still not able to find the one that connects onto Ethan's spot dodge, though. Second down sig. First one was a bait.
Yeah, man. He's loving it. He's loving it. Yeah, the Rayman, though, really, really working out. Kind of surprising to see, because I think intrinsically it seems like Rayman is perhaps a bit of a jokey pick just because of like the way the signatures look and things like that. But especially kind of the sort of quality of life changes to axe and the power of the gauntlets at the moment, just in terms of the light attacks they have available. I think he could actually be a pretty good pick if you can, in the way that Bumi is, learn the kit and incorporate the kit into your play style.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll see if anything changes up as we get right on into game number 3. Rayman, Ethan hovering a Sidra, hovering a cannon.
Looks that way. I think he's trying to
thinking about this
decide on what secondary weapon he wants. But definitely not a good mindset to be in when you're coming into what could be the end of the tournament for you. You're kind of like, don't know what to pick. Don't know what to pick. Where do I go? You know, how do I answer this seemingly flawless Rayman?
Ooh, it's going to be the Asuri pick. Okay. Sticking with some swordplay now, coming out from Ethan. That's a carryover to some of the other characters he's played today. That Val and Hattori. But we'll see if that's the end result. If that Katars and that sword is enough to beat out this Axe Rayman coming out from Bumi.
Indeed. Where are we going to be going, though? We've got Mammoth Fortress, Shipwreck Falls, kind of similar sort of play styles. Shipwreck Falls, a little bit more vertical in play. Bumi removes. All right, where are we going, dude? He removes the Twilight Grove, that bigger map. We'll be back to Mammoth Fortress. So we waited all that time for it to be the same map it's been the whole set.
But it's really important to show your work. You know, it's like show the equations that got you to that solution.
Yeah.
That's what happened there.
I mean, that's
Bumi had
true,
to show his work on that one.
Quite often we do end up kind of, blink and you miss it with the bands. And then we end up having to wait a little bit longer before we get into the game to actually figure out what the pick is. Oh my goodness.
That stock is gone.
In just a matter of seconds, again, you try and talk and this is meant to be the downtime. The start of the game is where it's meant to be a little bit more passive, let the guys get some weapons, have a little bit of the footsies and, trying to find those mistakes. But Bumi is just straight in and really has the potential to clean this one up quickly as he's only just into the yellow and keeping the damage even with Ethan.
And does find an opening onto Bumi. These falling nairs. Double down, goes for a third one. Bumi able to avoid it. Nice Sarah. Ooh.
Katars.
Yeah, that's a stock.
Okay. I was going to say, the Katar's looking a little better from Ethan. Definitely is fighting back. Looking strong. But, I don't know, Bumi, just that super dominant start. It's a tough hill to climb for Ethan. I suppose he does find Bumi's first stock relatively quickly, able to sort of even things up. And if he can find maybe one or two more successful strings here, he actually takes a bit of a lead. Bumi going to be getting rid of the gauntlets, however, and just into that big and beefy axe. But I feel like the Katar's pretty good into it at the moment. Ethan looking a lot more comfortable on these Katars for sure. Bumi, nice spacing to avoid the down sig. However, holding that side sig the full length, costing him a little bit
so long.
For sure.
Goes for it again. Ethan not in position to punish this time. That's why Bumi holds it, though, is that side signature. Kind of, if it misses, he just gets to ride on past his opponent.
For sure. And I mean,
neutral sig.
one of those where you could walk into it. The neutral sig actually lands. Ethan tried to run away from it. Not quite going to work out. Or just a weapon toss at the very least. But Bumi, you can see a little bit more respect coming in. However, will find the second stock first. So still in the lead, albeit small lead, perhaps a brief lead. We'll see. Depends how well he can extend this second stock.
One stock left for Bumi in order to close out the Super Summer. Slayem, Ethan going to even up these stocks, and I just would like to point out Bumi has hit every single signature on Rayman except for the Gauntlet Done signature. So if he wants to hit all 6, then that's the last one he needs to do.
Those quotas, man.
Yeah.
What it's all about.
Tempo Storm's got their own signature quota. It's hit all of them for a character, not necessarily hit a whole bunch of the same one.
Yeah. Really good here, though. It was pretty damn close for a while there. Bumi coming into this final stock, possibly of the entire tournament, is looking so very good. Ethan does manage to get the touch back and stays alive a little while longer. Bumi is without a weapon, but that will be that. Bumi is going to be the summer Slayem NA champion. Beautiful stuff from him. Losing only one game across the course of the top 8 to Noel. aside from that, clean 3-0s, a super dominant victory.
Yeah, and that means Bumi is the Super Summer Slayem champion. He has earned his gold medal in this this online tournament, and that is going to be big for Bumi, especially closing it out with the Rayman, this kind of unexpected pick. That's awesome. Congratulations to Bumi to be the champion. Congratulations to Ethan earning that second place to go up against Bumi, and then Noel in that third place, Simba in the fourth place. That's the top 4 of your top 8 for this Super Summer Slayem. But I think that's it for us. That's it for me, at least. I'm Duke X Fam. You can follow me on Twitter and things like that. Scriv, what are you on the socials?
I'm on Twitter. I'm at ScrivCasts. Same spelling. I'm sure everyone knows how to spell cast as well. I always get Scriv with a C, which is a little tedious, but yeah, that's me.
Cool, but that is it for the Super Summer Slayem. I'm waiting for Toast in my ears to tell me that that's actually it, and so I'm gonna stall for a good 30 seconds. All right, we're good. That's it for us on the Super Summer Slayem. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys had a fantastic time. I'm out. Peace.